another glorious day, my tea sippers, and you know what time it is. I hope you have all of your crumpets together because it's time to dish tea. And you're dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meech.
Can't wait. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech.
Darling. What in the hell is going on with all this damn freezing? I have no clue what the hell is happening here. Can you guys hear me well? Because I'm frozen on the damn screen here. Okay, this is ridiculousness and more ridiculousness. Okay, there we go. Shit. Damn. I can't even do my intro because I was going to sing and carry it on and like I usually do. But this damn thing here just pissed me off. But in any event, honey, hello. Hello to all of my tea sippers. My crumpet dunkers, honey, my pot stirrers, my tea brewers, honey, my crumpet dunkers, my tea leaf readers, honey, my tea baggers, and my tea biscuits. Ooh, honey. It's another glorious day, honey, so I hope you have all of your crumpets together because, darlings, you know what time it is, honey. It's time to dish tea, and you are dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meech. What's happening? Listen. Y'all know I am still in birthday mode, honey. This is going to last up until April 2nd. Y'all know that. The season is when? February 28th until April 2nd. So, yeah, this you understand. Now, today, we're coming to you, darling, because I have an exclusive, okay? Well, it's an exclusive for us. And before we go any further, first, I want to thank my sister, honey. I want to thank my sister, Miss Wayne Monroe, and her show, Laugh and Learn, along with her co-host, Bobby Clifford. Hey, Miss Bobby. I want to thank them for taking the initiative to introduce this person to us. I'm about to introduce to you. Okay. This is going to be a serious discussion. Okay. Now, of course, y'all know me. We're going to make light of it. And this discussion here is going to open up a lot of emotion, a lot of feelings. For those of you who are traditional Christians, honey, y'all gonna want to backflip and give Jesus all the praise, okay, and carrying on. And I'm expecting that. What I don't want this to turn into is a whole religiosity kind of thing, because this is more than that, okay. And the reason why I'm stressing that is because I have a young man here who is very courageous in his walk and is still trying to get some questions answered. And we're going to explore those same questions here. You guys know that I am a transgender advocate, okay? For those of you who don't know, y'all know Demetrius, y'all know Big Meech, y'all know I'm a mother of a house, y'all know I'm Big Daddy to some people, okay? But one of the things that I am too is a transgender advocate. And so because of that, you know, there's some things about it I'm still learning, of course, because it is ever evolving and changing and going through the things that it's going through. But my guest today, at one point in his life, was living as a transgender woman, okay? A trans girl, okay, wanted to teach her, and okay, my baby was sitting up here and was getting her life when she was her. and that girl. Okay. Um, but then there was a revelation that came that questioned everything all over again. And so that's what we're going to get into. Because I titled today's show, I Am What I Am, Detransitioning. Okay. Now, again, some of you are going to look at this and have all of the usual questions. Well, what you go through all that for just to take it back out again? That don't make no sense. We're going to go through all of that, okay? So while we're doing that, I have the comment lines open. That's why we decided to do this live, because we was going back and forth. I said, baby, we could do a pre-record. And he said, no, I'm good. And now he's at a point now to where he wants to tell the story and want to build the courage to stand 10 toes down and waist deep in it, honey, because if nothing else, this is his life. Regardless of what you like about it or not, this is his life. And whether we like it or not, honey, who are we? Okay, this is his journey. And so without any further ado, I want you to welcome my guest, honey. This is King, honey, right here with Dish It to you. Hey, baby.
Oh yeah. What's up? What's up? Well, happy birthday. I'm
Well,
so
thank you,
glad,
baby.
we're able to see you still here on this earth in the OG territory.
Okay, you understand, okay?
Oh yeah. Oh
You
yeah. Oh yeah.
understand. Okay. Now, uh, I want to be as delicate as possible, but at the
Yeah.
same time, we're gonna be real.
Of course.
Okay. Uh, and as we go along with this, I want you to be as comfortable as you need to. And as you tell your story, honey, share with us what you feel you want to share. Because I don't want you to feel as though, because you're here and have a platform that you're obligated to share stuff or whatever the
Yeah.
case may that be. You're not obligated to do anything but tell us what you want us to know. Okay. Okay. And so with that, I want to get started with you just telling everybody who was King.
Well, King is of course a black, handsome young man. Um, I'm a leader. I would consider OG now in the detransition side of being a trans woman because I have transitioned for almost 4 years now. Was a trans woman for almost about 11 years. Um,
Okay.
and was committed to my transition every single day. So it wasn't no on and off thing. It was once I transitioned, it was full flesh transition mode for me. Um, I have a beautiful mother. She have two beautiful children. We are beautiful inside and out because we take care of her. We take care of our parents. So, I come from a very grounded family, grounded, very well respected family and Christian family. So that was the thing when you come from a real Christian background in the black community, being different and sort of say is a ooh moment. But for me, it was a different. I didn't experience that moment. I was loved to the first day I came out as bisexual in 10th grade. My mama found out by reading something. When I stand true to myself, I just kept going and kept going. So my family always supported me into being whatever I wanted to be. Once I became bisexual, open with that, whatever journey I went on, my family supported that.
Okay. Oh, okay. Now you hit something. Oh, okay. Let's start there with the easy route, as I like to call it, the bisexual route. And for those of you who are bisexual, I don't mean to be disrespectful to you. Okay, I'm saying it from my experience with it, because as an openly gay man, it was my experience that those who said they were bi, it was an easy way out. It was a cop out because they didn't get all of the
The
slant. They
backlash.
didn't get beat up. They didn't get that because they still gonna get some pussy. Okay, and as long as
Yeah,
black
yeah,
folks were
yeah.
getting some pussy, everything was
You,
cool. Okay,
you good.
you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
that whole bisexual piece for me, in my youth became a cop out until I started to understand, no, because now I see bisexuality as the physical manifestation of who God is spiritually. Okay. If God is both
Hmm.
male and female in the spirit, you know,
Right.
those who are bisexual, I believe, exude that in the physical, in the carnal that we know it, and have the capability of loving everyone. Look who done came up in here. Hey, thank you, baby. That's Miss Flame, honey.
Hey, Flame.
So let's start there with you professing to be bisexual with your family, and they were very supportive of you. When you were in that stage of development and believed that that was your identity at that time, what was that for you?
um, well, being bisexual was for me was just relaxing in a way because I was accepting to liking both genders. And when
Mm-hmm.
I said both genders, with me, I started off being with trans men. When it came down to sleeping with men. So
Mm-hmm.
when it came to biological men, that started from my childhood when I was molested. At 7 years old. So I
Mm-hmm.
molested at that age, and I was molested again by a woman. I molested again in my teenage years. So it did confuse me in a way, but I
Mm-hmm.
had to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And once I figured it out and started to accept the fact that this was me, I just went with it. I didn't let it not discourage me from saying, "Oh, I like one gender." No, I liked it both genders, meaning I dated trans men, I dated trans women, I dated biological men. So I've been all under the rainbow,
Okay.
pretty
Oh,
much. You know what
okay.
I'm saying? So
Okay.
for me, that's when I say I stand by being bisexual. That's bisexual. When you're messing with the opposite sex, you may not identify. I don't want to identify as it. If you don't have to, that's your choice. But it is a bisexual experience, and you can't accept. You cannot run from that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Once you cross over that line, that's just that.
Well, okay. I'm. That's cute. I'm glad you're using the word experience because a lot of people have experiences and realize, oh, okay, I did that, done that. It is what it was. I don't necessarily need that. Then there
Right.
are those who like, okay, no, I like this, and they had that aha moment. And when the
Hmm.
angels start singing and the church, bells start dinging and the mountains get to crumbling and shit, there are those
Yeah.
who have that experience. And then you have those that are on the continuum, somewhere in between, you know. And so they're still trying to figure it out. So you saying that you identify as your sexual orientation is I'm bisexual.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's bisexual. Well, now I just be chill. Like I told you before, I chill. I'm just seeking myself. I don't dip around. My goal was to also be married by now with a female and have children because I did have somebody who also experienced the same lifestyle I experienced in a way, but different routes. But me and her took, a seat back just to try to figure things out in life. But for the most part, I don't be out here sleeping around with different men or different. I was at one point sleeping with different trans men and stuff because I was still looking for something because I was still being me. But then I had to realize, what I want getting older. You can't just be striding the fence. You got to figure it out. Um, and if I mess around the lifestyle, I'm not gonna fall in love with nobody in the lifestyle. Then I don't need to be sleeping around, with different people in lifestyle and stuff like that. So I
Okay.
choose to just focus on just being a better man first, so I can be good to
Okay.
whoever I choose to be with.
Okay. Now, being a better man, let's delve into that. What does that mean to you? What is your definition of a better man? What are the steps that you're taking to become a better man?
We not. I do go to therapy. I do go to psych doctor because of my transition.
Hmm.
And all the mental trauma I dealt with as a child. I'm a silent trauma baby,
Okay.
meaning I was silenced once I got touched, so that scared me from even expressing or even telling anything when anything was done wrong to me to anybody. I never did express. I just continued to get done wrong and keep going. So me, by being a man now, it's just following the proper steps. If you got to go to counseling, you got to go to psych. Start there first, so you can build up your character as a man, and then figure out who you are. You know what I'm saying? A lot of black men, we don't know who we are still to this day,
Hmm.
and we're still trying to figure that out. And for me, I'm figuring it out. You know, I know who I am in my sexuality lifestyle. I know who I am, my identity now. So I don't have that confusion. You know, I don't have the confusion of not knowing if I like men or women. I know what's up. You know, so that's why I'm focused on as a man, just building up my character, building up my strength, building up my life to be good to not only myself but for other people.
Okay. Now let me ask you this, and this may be this may be a because I want to,
You're breaking up.
okay, and it's the line in there. Did I break up? You know what? Okay, we're gonna bind this because every time I'm onto something, I swear that the people are listening to me. Cause I always want to fuck with with myself. Every time I'm onto something real good, I go through this. Here's me being devil's advocate and all of that because the line from Tu Wong Fu, okay,
Hmm.
is when Miss Chichi Rodriguez had told Miss Vita Boam, okay, bitch, you ain't no, you couldn't make it as a man. You discovering the type of man and who your man self is. Did you ever think that that description ever fit you?
Being a man,
Living as trans and then now that you're detransitioning,
well,
did you ever think
yeah,
that, oh wow,
yeah. You know, my transition came from overall my me knowing that I didn't want to be trans. You know, I knew around 15 years old I wanted to be trans. You know, when I was 17, I went to the club called Club Envy out there in Dallas, and I first see my first transgender. You know, Miss Beautiful Raquel Lord, like I said before, and I met Bolays, which she was a female personality who I thought was also a trans woman, but they say no, she just do drag. So, you know, I had met different people in the walks of life through my friends. So I knew personally that I wanted to be a trans person, but I
mm,
held it in the back of my mind because I was a kid. You know, I don't believe in trans people um, transitioning as a child, even a teenager. Is just a lot on your body. Um, so I didn't want to transition as a teenager. So I waited till I was an adult. When I turned 18, I went to a therapist and she told me, I was telling her what's going on in my situation in my life when I was sexually assaulted. When I was 8, I wanted to cut my penis off because I felt like if I cut my penis off, I wouldn't be violated. In my mind, as a kid, like that would make somebody not want to violate me because I'll keep on getting violated. So I told her that she said
mm.
I had genital dysphoria and gender dysphoria at
Wait a
18.
minute, that's a new
So
wait, that's a new what I mean. Genital dysphoria and gender dysphoria. Oh, that okay.
yeah,
Wait a minute. Press pause. Press pause. Wait a minute. We're going to Google right now. We are going to Google right now.
yeah,
I'm 54 years old. I have never heard of genital
yeah,
dysphoria,
gender
baby. Okay, now hold
dysphoria.
on in here. Okay, hold on. No, 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 no. But hot damn, here it is. What you say? Genital dysmorphia. Okay. Oh, okay. So they putting that up under the body dysmorphic. Okay. Now I
Yeah,
know what body dysmorphia is, and that's those who feel as though they're not. A lot of bodybuilders go through that. Okay,
yeah,
that they don't like. They just don't see what they think that they're supposed to see. Okay.
correct. So I was confused with that at 18. You
Disorder,
first?
and they say it's abstract. Penile dysmorphic disorder, or PDD, is shorthand for men diagnosed with body dysmorphic disorder, in whom the size or shape of their penis in their main is their main, if not their exclusive preoccupation, causing significant shame or handicap.
Yeah.
So wait a minute, wait a minute. I'm okay. Hold on, baby.
So she said that because I told her about the experience of me wanting to cut my penis out. So in her mind, that's how she broke it down to me. It was genital dysphoria and gender dysphoria because I told her about the, wanting to be a trans woman as well, through the process. So that's how she put it to me,
Okay,
which
so
is
that's
scared
okay.
me.
So she made that connection there,
Yeah, them two
and
connections there.
because according to this definition, that's not what you had.
So it's no, so we have
Obsessed with the size that
professional
they did.
so we have professional licensed therapists misdiagnosing people. So for me, I was confused, and I didn't transition still. I waited because I was trying to grow. I was like, okay, I'm young, I'm 18. Let me still experience life. Let me
Right.
date. Let me just maybe because it's just always they always say it go away, stuff will go away. So maybe it's just something that I was just feeling that would go away, right? It
Uh-huh.
didn't go away. When I turned 21, I mentally locked myself in already, saying, okay, I'm going to transition and I'm going to become the trans woman that I just aspire to be. That's where I want to be, and that's what it is. I accept the fact that what the therapist had told me, and I just took it and I kept going on my life. So when
Hmm.
22 came, I transitioned, but at that time I was working,
Okay.
so
Okay.
I
Okay.
worked in transition.
Let's go back just a little bit because I want to take us back to that 15-year-old when you were on that precipice of saying, okay, something is different. And what was the facet? Is it something you can put in words, or what happened there? Because the connection I want to make is the innate part. Okay, because everybody always say, "Well, this is a choice that you made," and this, that, and I know for me being a gay man, I knew I was different all of my life. Okay, I
Right,
had when I was 5 years old, I had no word for it, of course, because I wasn't on that particular mindset. But I knew I was fascinated with seeing big men with no shirts on mowing the lawn and carrying on. My hands would get sweaty, and I would be mesmerized. Right, I would be so mesmerized, and I remember being a kid laying on my father's chest. Okay, now I'm a titty man all day, and I must have flicked my daddy's nipples in that way, right? Because he slapped the shit out of me. Okay, oh God, I remember that just as vividly. Okay, and my daddy don't. You don't remember, but I remember it so vividly because I blacked out. He hit me that hard. I had blacked out for a minute.
yeah,
Okay, but and I say this all the time because the body is designed to react to stimulus. So I'm his son, and I must have hit him in that way, or whatever, to where it was a visceral reaction, right?
right.
So I know for me, all of my life, that's been my pull. The choice came when I decided to accept this is what it was. After all the running, after all the lying to myself, this ain't who I am. I'd have been to church and carried on. I done cried, I done stewed. I walk like my mama since I took my first step. I always talk with my hands. It was always that. And it was and that was always something that made my father mad. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that
Yeah.
was for me, knowing that I was a gay man. Well, here you are coming through it. Here you are at 15. And now there's another paradigm shift. Like, okay, ooh, what was that if you could put it into words?
To me, it was. I think overall, in general, also was a whole thing of the trauma, sexual trauma.
Okay.
Um, at first I was in denial, saying that became a part of it, but then I had to realize it do come apart in some of a standpoint in somebody's life when they take a detour. You know,
Uh-huh.
when I was touched, I didn't want to even live no more at
Mm.
all. Like, to me, my life been done. Really, honestly, spiritually, it was done because I was confused on why me. But when I became 15, I was, like I said, I was getting touched again at from 13 to 14, consistent by the same man, and he would make me give him oral sex all the time, eh,
Mm-hmm.
all the time, and it was a consistent thing. And then when I turned 15, I look in the mirror one day. I just didn't see me no more. I just didn't
Mm.
see me. I didn't understand. I didn't understand that feeling. I didn't know what was I going through mentally as a child to click that. Hey, I don't even feel like the man that my mom had. Like I don't feel like this man. I just feel like a little confused person who
Okay.
just don't fit into this world no more. Don't want to be feminine. Don't want to be masculine. Don't want to be nothing. I don't know what I want to be no more. But I knew it was something that what I was feeling. There was something for that. You know, them feelings was
Mm.
something for that. The feeling of want to be, you know, want to be represented in a way that I would see myself every day, and that was a trans
Mm.
woman. So, like I
Let me
said,
ask.
once I figure out what it was, I lock it in my brain and I put it right there.
Uh-huh. Let me ask this question, and again, I'm not trying to be insensitive. Um, Looking back over it, did you at one point think that because you're being touched that way, oh, that means I should have been a girl because it's only men touching me like this?
Well, it was two men and one woman. So it was a man,
Mm.
a woman, and then a man.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that's where the whole confusion came with the bisexual thing. And that's how I
Mm-hmm.
felt with that. Because I was like, okay, which way do I supposed to go? Which way do I feel accepted in? And who gonna love me more? Okay,
Ooh.
because you don't know
Ooh.
because now you getting other people demons put on top of you, so ain't no telling what they dealing with. So I don't know if it was their demons that their spirits that they put on me. I do not know. Only me and God had to pray about that together and figure that journey out for me, and that's what I've been doing all my life since I've been touched. I've been praying, praying, praying. I didn't pray so much. I don't know what to say to God no more, but thank you for still delivering me through this situation. And not delivering me in a way like what people think, but I said deliver like through just the suicidal part of all of what I was going through
Mm-hmm.
consistently of not wanting to be here in this world after being touched.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Let's go here. So you made the connection of wanting to be trans. You've gone to the therapy and things of that nature. We got this new term. I'm telling you, this is the first time I've ever heard this genital dysmorphia or PDD, penile dysmorphic disorder. Um, Damn. So we're here. You said at 18. Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me pump my brakes for a minute because I'm still not sure if this is the direction I need to go in. Let me explore. Let me see what life has to offer.
Let me just grow as a adult,
Okay.
a
Aha.
young adult.
All right. Now let me ask this: did your gender identity also confuse your sexual orientation?
No, because my sexual orientation I accepted because I was living it. You know,
Uh,
I was living it. I was having sex with, to me, is how I am. You're
mm-hmm.
heterosexual when you sleep with men and women. Biological men and women sleep together. That's a heterosexual lifestyle.
uh,
And once I crossed the lifestyle willingly, not
uh,
non-consistent. Sometimes it was
got it. Got
non-consistent.
it.
I was having sex with people. So when I consent to having sex with a man, the first man that I consent to having sex with, in my eyes, was a trans man I met at the club, who I thought
Uh,
was a biological man. But then we got to the house, it was a whole, boom.
uh,
So went there, then I explored. So I was a young adult exploring my bisexual lifestyle, pretty much.
okay.
So to me, that never did click because I stand firm in that.
Okay.
Once I
Okay.
crossed over, I stand firm in that. So that's how I knew when I transitioned to being trans woman, I knew I was a trans woman. I was a bisexual trans woman, because I was not letting go of loving women. I love women, women love me. So why would I know a connection that's there, gonna always be there that I'm not gonna let go? when I knew on one side, when I tell or I tell a gay guy, hey, I'm bisexual, it was, oh, I don't want to deal with you because I can't compete against a woman. So it
Right.
was grief that you got being bisexual in the community. So I had a whole struggle being not only bi, but turned to a bi transsexual woman. That was a whole nother different story for people.
Okay, now let's explore that. Let's explore that because now we into the transition period. Okay.
Yeah, so now we're in transition period at 22 working. So we'll start there with how that experience, took me to
Uh-huh.
my transition.
Take it. Go ahead. Start. Go
Okay.
ahead. Give it to me.
So when I finally became, comfortable in saying, okay, this is who I am, I want to tell you a biological born female, um, my beautiful black queen sister, who was actually my manager. She's not a real sister, but she's a sister. She
Hmm.
was my manager at the time, and also she became my friend. So I pulled her to the side one day and I said, I've been feeling this way since I was a kid. I told her everything. She's the first
Uh-huh.
person I opened to about, like, besides somebody professional. So I said, well,
Uh-huh.
I went to counseling about this at 18. I was confused, but now I know who I am now. This is who I am.
Okay.
So I said, okay, well, how do I do this?
Okay.
How
Now
do,
you done gain an
uh,
ally.
yeah. So I have somebody who was listening to me. She said, okay, well, you're working, so I don't want you to just jump up one day and just come in here and just, you mess up your money.
Let the kids have it.
So,
Right.
so
Okay.
she said, so that's a priority as well because you got to pay for this stuff. That's how she broke it down to me. So she was like, but on the transition part, she said, listen, I can't teach you how to be a trans woman because I'm not a trans woman. I'm a biological born woman. But she said, I will do my best to help you get the proper steps to see where we can take this at for you. And
Hmm.
that's when she would get online for me. Yeah, she would get online. She would look up stuff for me, help me, because I didn't want to open up to none of my friends. I didn't want to open up to nobody about that because I didn't want nobody to change my mind. Because I
Okay.
knew once I opened up about it, everybody was gonna change my mind. And then what if it would have stayed in my back of my head and I would have started transitioning now at 37 years old? Well, now it's so accepted to be a trans person.
Uh-huh.
You know, it is. You can walk down the street and love each other, and as a trans, you can be happy publicly. People, guys accepting you, who not fake straight, who's really bisexual openly. I like trans women, attracted trans women who's sharing that, bringing around their family. So, what if I would have waited? So that's
Mm.
why I didn't open up to my family. So when I did open up to her, she was helping me behind the scene because, like I said, once again, I didn't want nobody changing my mind on what I knew in my head, what I wanted to do. Because if I
Hmm.
didn't want to do that, I would never have done it to myself. Because you don't mark nobody's lifestyle. Because
Right.
that is something serious. So why would I? I didn't been around the scene already. So why would I mark these girls who I already in seen and respected?
Hmm.
So then I trained. So she took me to the computer. She said, "Well, you take prenatal. They say take prenatal vitamins. So I took prenatal vitamins. She said, testosterone blocker. You need the testosterone blocker. So I took a testosterone blocker. I ordered one from online, and she was saying something about hormone therapy, but I couldn't find no doctor in the area I was in. But in Dallas, there was a doctor, but the doctor was always booked. So I couldn't really get to that doctor in time. So
Hmm.
then I had to turn to black market hormones for 3 years at the time. Um, from 2010 to 2013, I did black market hormones. So,
Okay. Okay. Did you suffer any of the ill effects from it and carried out? The girls had it on them black market moans, baby. You
well,
know.
yeah, now I do deal with some things, that I don't know where it came from. I have had two heart attacks. I have an enlarged heart. I've had a
Okay.
stroke last year in the brain. So I have had some issues that most likely came from that. It may not hit you then, but in the long run, stuff do hit you. And I didn't know what I was shooting my body. You know what I'm saying? Um, Nobody really know what you're shooting your body when you get in the black market. They could just be making up stuff, and you could just, you do what you do to live your life because it's hard. At that time, it was hard to get into doctors and stuff like that. So I finally found a doctor after that. But then by the time I finally got a doctor, my transition was taking a detour in a
Really?
bad way. Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Okay. So now, okay, with the moans that you were taking, how much of your body augmentation did you realize? Was you like? Because I'm looking at your face, honey. Your face, a lot of the girls they start to look like madam. Not okay. The sisters that because when the girls start getting their work done, they start to become obsessed because now then they got snatched and all that, and they start to see cheekbones, and you see them playing. I'm like, okay, I want it to be raised up right here. Okay, we're gonna put about $200 right there, and then they become the mad scientists. Then they start looking like the Madam Dolls and carrying on. If y'all don't know Madam, go Google her, honey. Then they want to put that cleft in their chin. They got this big old long ass, chin or whatever.
Mhm.
And then, once they start getting their titties done, then they become obsessed because now the bigger the titty, honey, the more woman I am. Because, this is the aesthetic. And as long as I can
Yeah.
wiggle and jiggle, then it becomes the whole thing. Now for the pageant girls,
Look, Kim. Excellent.
okay, for the pageant girls who trying to get that hourglass figure so that they could look good in the dress when they go on to serve for Miss Continental and all those kind of pageantries and carrying on. Then they start getting that work done. And so now they done got $500 on each hip, you know,
Hmm.
and it looked good from a distance. But when I'm up in your motherfucking mug, bitch,
Don't look good.
okay. And then on top of it, as somebody who does drag, honey, I have to exaggerate because I'm drawing in a cheekbone. Okay.
Right.
We contour, we put the little J there, contour because I'm drawing in a cheekbone. Well, you done got all this work done, and then you still painting like you got to draw this shit in. You know, well, you done did it. So now the work is done, but your paint is saying something else. And it looks good from a distance. See, if I'm 20 feet away from you, honey, because you're on stage up under the spotlight, bitch, you sickening. Ah. But after
Yeah.
it was all over, and I got to look at you in your mug, because we right here next to each other, bitch, you looking like the crypt keeper. Okay? And so how was that for you? How was that you were able to maintain? Because I've seen you. Okay, and we're not going to reveal those pictures here, y'all, because that day y'all got to wait for the book for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm working on get my book started and getting it done. Um. Well, when well, I was 100% natural. Besides my
Uh-huh.
implant.
Okay.
So my grandma, my grandma died in 2009. My grandma was my cheerleader. Like I said, I come from a very Christian family. So for them to love me the way they did, it was so much easy for me to just accept my life a little bit when they don't even know the trauma I was dealing with. So my grandma told me, she said, make me a promise. I said, yes, ma'am. Because I wanted my face done. I wanted all that stuff done right. She said, I don't want you touching your face. And I said, well, what, Mama? That's what's I'm supposed to give this look, right, Mama? She said, no, baby, because your face is what the girls gonna want to pay for. And I never knew what that mean. And she was
Mm,
like, once you realize that your face gonna be worth more than them girls' face is ever gonna be because you're natural, you're gonna wonder why I'm telling you this. Because mind you, my grandma been around that lifestyle because she had a gay friend. He got killed in Louisiana where we're from being, from being openly gay.
okay.
So my grandma already we now all that wasn't around us as kids because they was very strict on that. We didn't even see public affection. So I never touched my face. So when people used to see me, they thought I had my face done, and I
Okay.
didn't because I let my hormones do it work. So the shots that was working,
Okay.
but after the second year, I started peeing blood. I
Mm.
started uh I started peeing blood. I couldn't come no more. At some point, like it was like duck water type when I was coming, and
Uh-huh.
it was just hurting when I was peeing sometimes. So then I was like, okay, well, even though this is giving me a look, but I don't feel good no more. Internally, I don't feel good. By then, I already
Mm.
had my implants in 2009. I already had got my implants away. So when my grandma died, she didn't get to see me. When I seen her, she was in a casket.
Wow.
So it hurt my heart because the person who supported my transition, you know, so much and wanted me to stay natural was the reason why I stayed 100% natural besides get my implants.
Uh-huh.
Um, she left me because she was my cheerleader. She let me feel comfortable in knowing that no matter what walk of life you're going in, God love you. We love you. Stay, keep your head up, and don't let the devil get to you. You
Okay.
know, and to her, meaning the silicone injections, the going to the table to get all the surgeries. She knew the danger of that. You know, she knew that these doctors can do anything wrong to you at any moment because they don't like who you really are. And
Ooh.
you don't understand that. Like these doctors will kill you because you're going, they can take your money, but you're going to transition and they will do something wrong with you just to kill you or to make you have a an infection or anything because they don't really believe in it. They believe in your money, but they don't believe in who you are. So
Ooh,
you know,
that's big.
my grandma knew that. She knew that. She'd been around it, so she knew something that I didn't know, and she gave
Mm.
me that piece of puzzle in my life to move forward through my transition, and that's why. Besides my grandma and Bolays and my whole needed family in that community, they were so against the silicone injections. They were so against. They were like, "You don't need that," and I thought I needed it because I wanted it. I wanted to look like the other girls.
Okay, now let's sidetrack a little bit here, right there. I want to venture off with some of the other girls. Okay,
Hmm.
being in this world of being with the showgirls, honey, I know, and I'm from Detroit, so I know there's a lot of girls, okay, who get caught up because they think because they can give a look and they can pull trade, bitch. Bitch,
Yeah,
the trade is on me, okay, that they think that that means that they're supposed to transition. That means that they're supposed to live their life as girls, okay, instead of just enjoying the moment. Okay, it was nothing wrong with being a drag queen, but drag queens had the stigma. Okay, they untrustworthy. You can't be around them. You know, fuck them bitches because they loud. They it's all of that. All of them hoes and walk the streets and this, that, and the other. They don't got no real jobs. It became all of that. And so the gay folks, we still have this thing with the T girls. Okay. Now we love a good show. But as far as being friends and carrying on, honey, there's a selected few. Okay.
yeah.
So what was that for you being in your trans self and yet seeing the other girls who were coming after you that wanted to look up to you and be like, girl, oh girl, you socking bitch, you rocking it, and they want to use you as their blueprint. What was that for you?
Well, you know, honestly, I didn't have no girls that wanted to look up to me because
Really?
I wasn't around. You know, once I checked out of that, just the whole going to the club, the whole lifestyle. Once I seen how things was, once I got my implants and I finally came, back on the scene or whatever, because you're going through transition, you're doing all this stuff. So I realized how hateful trans girls are towards each other.
Mm.
The ones I was around the pageants and who was around both, they treat each other with respect. But there was a significant other group of trans girls that really didn't like each other. They really, 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 really had this thing against each other that I didn't get with because for me, we're gonna my mind, we're gonna fight if you disrespect me, you know? even in
Right.
dress up, whatever, hair and stuff, we're gonna fight. So I don't think I had girls that look up to me now. I can't say I had people that was inspired by just the essence of my transition, how it was going for me. You know what I'm saying? When
Hmm.
I did get my name changed and I got my social security number, I mean my social security change, all that changed and my birth, like all that was a process, and I did all that by myself. I didn't have no help. You know, no trans girls telling me what to do. Like I had to learn on my own because they won't tell you certain things. They won't tell you how to go change your name. They won't tell you how to do the right things. They'll tell you how to do the illegal things, but they won't tell you how to do the right things to make yourself legal. And that was a problem for me. So having this big old, I wish I did have that impact, but I didn't have that impact. You know, because I guess because I stayed so ducked off in the scene, I was working. You know, once Bo, we go to the pageant, we go to the club, we travel, and then when I go back home, you know, I became a loner because I'm an introvert. Even as a trans woman, I was an introvert. I only went to the club just to celebrate anything that was dealing with Bo or anything that was dealing with my needed family in the community. If it
Hmm.
wasn't for that, I'd be back at home because I lost my light in my tunnel. They didn't know that I stopped loving myself through my transition. I didn't want to. By that time, I was checked out of my transition, believe it or not, and I was checked out, but still checked in
Okay,
because I
now
was going through so much.
let's explain that because I've heard, and this is one of the first times that I'm hearing this from a black, well now former trans person, because usually we hear that from our white sisters, honey. You know, they've gone through. Um, some has gone so far as to have SRS surgeries. You know, and now that they feel as though they complete what they thought they were supposed to get out of it, they don't. And we have a lot of trans suicides because that light is not there anymore. What they thought they was supposed that all that was supposed to have done, it didn't do. So now what? You know, there's a line in Paris is Burning where Pepper LaBeija says, she said she didn't want to have surgery. She said, oh no. She said, that's a little bit too far from me. Okay. She said, that's a little bit too far from me. She said, but the girls that do all that, she said, they think that because if I get a pussy, everything is gonna be cool for me. It's gonna be it's gonna be cute. But she said they forget women get beat and get dogged and this, that, and other. That's who, that's who this is. Pepper said, she said, no, I've never been a woman, honey. I emulate a woman, but I've never been a woman. Okay.
Hmm.
I emulate a woman, honey. So everything about me is me emulating what I know to be strong women. And when folks who lose that light because now I'm at the end of the tunnel or at the end of the rainbow and there was no pot of gold. Now what? What do I do? How do I go from here? And I'm say this too. On Jerry Springer a long time ago, when he had Maya Douglas and Mimi Marks and what's her
Brittany,
name? Brittany Monroe. What's the Monroe girl?
Silky Mara,
Huh?
not Silky. I
No,
don't
no,
think
no,
she's
no.
been on this.
Oh, what's her name, y'all? White girl, Monroe. Flame, what's her name? Oh, what's her name? I'm looking right at her. God damn it. And she's the one I'm trying to quote. I'm trying to get her name right. Anyway, who said she had mutilated her penis because she was trying to have SRS surgery. So she went in and she mutilated herself so much to where they, because they knew she was, thank you. No, not Marilyn Monroe. It wasn't Marilyn. No, 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 not Marilyn Monroe. Oh God, I can't call this girl's name. Um, but she said that she said she asked her, she said, do you really understand what it is that you're doing? And it was one of the moments to where it was like, girl, you know you ain't no woman for real. You think you
Mm-hmm.
caught up because you got to look. She said, "This is something I know. This is who I am. I want to be and die as an old woman." Okay, with me and my husband and Dr. D. And when she said that on that show, that had just blew my mind because I don't think that a lot of the children go into this knowing that this is the rest of my life. Okay. Right now,
Yeah.
you're young, you're caught up in the club because you in club life. Okay. You in club life. Like they say in Paris is burning, honey. Okay, you here for the balls. As long as you got status in the ballroom, bitch, everything is lovely. But when the
Oh
balls are
yeah.
open, you got to come out here to the real world. What is that? You got to deal with the real world. So I said all that to preface this for you. Um, when you made up your mind, did you ever think that you were going to have a moment where happiness was no longer there?
No, because when you have this, my biggest thing was the support. When you have that support, when your family supports you, you got your needed family support you. You got the two of the best hairstylists in Dallas. Katrina, which is a trans sister who used to do my hair. King Dior. He was on Chasing Dallas. He done TS. No, he done TS Math. But King Dior was doing my hair way before he started being a celebrity hairstylist because he used to date my brother. So when you have them kind of people rooting you on and making you become this trans woman that you can be, that right there takes over the bad moments that I was dealing with. Them, empowering me, making me look good. My son Tate teaching me makeup, Nia Corden teaching me makeup. Bole's telling me, I don't want you with all that drag makeup. I want you to look. You don't live your life as a drag queen. You look like a trans woman, so you got to make sure you look presentable because you work every day. You a working girl. So
Mm-hmm,
when you got
mm-hmm.
people like that that's rooting for you, it's hard to let them down. So I felt like I couldn't go to them and tell them once I lost my job at Lowe's. Because when I was working at Lowe's, I was dealing with the restroom situation.
Okay.
I couldn't go in the bath.
Okay.
I couldn't go in the bathroom inside the building. I had to use the bathroom either at this other building called Somewhere Rental or go to On the Border. Um,
Okay.
Dealing with that experience, and I wasn't prepared for that mentally. One day you can go to any bathroom you want to, and then the next day you come in just as who you want to be and who you feel that's who you are, and you go into the bathroom because you had to go back to the men's bathroom because the thing was I couldn't go to the female's bathroom until I was more presentable.
Okay.
I had to make
Wow.
sure my name was changed, make sure I had my implants. So before I had got that done, of course, with makeup on, eyelashes, hair done, nails, I had to go to the men's bathroom still, even with girl clothes on. So when I went in the
Okay.
bathroom, this man told me, he looked at me, he was a regular customer. I didn't check him out numerous of times when I was in my life before I transitioned. And he looked at me
Uh-huh.
and told me that I'm a disgrace to my community and um, that I'm gonna burn in hell, and that Lowe's should have never let me transition at a family store because they got kids that come to their store, and I'm gonna confuse the children. I left the bathroom crying, devastated, and I went to my HR and I said, "How do we handle this? Because now mentally, I don't know what to do with this.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what to do. I wasn't prepared for this part." See, and that's what
Right.
I'm saying. You don't think about all that, and that's something you need to think about the trans person too. You got to think about that restroom moment because at the end of the day, you're gonna run into these issues, no matter if you're passable or not. You're gonna run into these issues because people know these days what's going on. Now, nobody's not really confused no more. People know the difference, and it's not about being clockable. It's that people know the difference in the instance of trans women and biological born women. So for me, I understood women was gonna be uncomfortable as
Uh-huh.
well. I knew that. But the women who I had in my corner, what they would do? They would go stand in front of the bathroom and let me go to the bathroom and tell the customer if the bathroom was broken. So I can have go to the bathroom inside the store. But once that got out,
Okay.
I had no choice but to go to the bathroom where my store manager told me I had to keep confusion down and to keep me being safe because they didn't want nobody to hurt me or say for who I was.
Mm.
So that made me that situation right there turn my light off. Even when
Mm.
I still had the support, I still had the support. But my support didn't know that I checked out. I checked out then. Because mind
Was
you,
it?
by then I had full boobs. So now we in 2009, and I'm still going outside to the bathroom before I got fired.
Mm.
I'm still going to
Okay.
these bathrooms.
Okay. So here's what I'm hearing, and let me know if this is accurate. What I am hearing you say is, "Damn, here I am now. This is who I am." But yet the fight to be me, honey, is too much.
It's going to
The
be too
fight
much.
to be me is too much, and I don't know. Did you ever think that I'm not strong enough for this, or was it just so overwhelming till it became, what the hell did I do? Because if I got to fight this hard, I could have stayed where I was. Was
Um,
that the idea, or was it just your appreciation for women just became that much? Be like, okay, you know what? Okay, just being a woman and trying to be a black trans woman. Oh hell no, honey. I don't know if I'm strong enough for this.
uh, my my appreciation for women was just so strong because women really supported my journey.
Women, say that one
Um,
more time because you went on a little bit.
my
Say,
support for women was so strong because a lot of women supported my journey just by being mothers. You know what I'm saying?
okay, okay,
And um, people, women get a lot of lack and a lot of slack on why they support so much in the LGBTQ community. And I think people don't understand a lot of these women are mothers. They're mothers first, and it comes from a mothering thing. When they really, it's not a really they support. They just want to make sure that this person is having some kind of
mom.
more support than judgment
Right.
when it came down to them, want to be who they are. And of course, the men was more, you need to be a man, you need to be a man, but women are more love yourself, whatever you choose to be. And they had some men supporting my journey too.
Okay. I just thought of the girl's name. It's Monica Monroe.
Monica Monroe, yeah, yeah,
Monica
yeah.
Monroe. That bitch was lovely. Listen. Okay. Ooh, you better understand, honey. Okay. Good evening. Anywho, um, here is what this is, baby. Because now you're starting to check out, but you're still here. Okay. A lot of folks not knowing that you're checking out. Did you think about going back to therapy to
I was
see
in
what
the,
that
I was
was?
in therapy.
Oh, you were
I
in
was
therapy.
in therapy. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
see, my whole since I started my transition, I was in therapy. See, I did. That's why I say that's why I thought the decision I made was so correct for me because I was doing the work. I was
Okay.
doing the work. I was consistent doing the work, going to my therapist, talking to them about it. Because I tried to commit suicide twice.
Hmm.
Because I just didn't feel like it no more. I remember telling mom, I don't want to be a trans woman past 30. I'm going to kill myself because this right here is taking a total control of my life now because now I'm dealing with things that I didn't think I was gonna ever deal with. Not only being black, but being a black trans person. Now hold up, I didn't have to deal with none of this crap being an openly bisexual black man. So now I become to this side, and now I'm getting a whole bunch of new unsigned stuff that I didn't ask for. I didn't ask to be mistreated like that, and it kind of took me back. So when I lost my job, I didn't fight the fight. I could have sued them and fought. but I didn't because all I want to do was work. I didn't want to be a escort or a porn star because I knew that's the only thing that our sisters did in the community. That was the
Mm,
only outlet that they had. And I
mm-hmm,
got the whole escort thing because you become this big fetish, not only to men but to women. Women like trans women too, believe it or not. I mean, so you become a big fetish, and then you just become this big old operating machine, a big sex toy. So I got the whole thing while girls say, well, shit, if I gotta keep doing this 3 o'clock in the morning, Lolo shit, I might well get $100, $200 from it. And you might well pay me for what I'm worth.
mm-hmm.
But I still didn't have the dignity or the courage to go that route. Because I still say, you know what? I'm stronger than this. I can fight this. I can get through this. I can do this. I made the decision. I then got through the hurdles of getting the implants, changing my name, changing my license. I done did all that now, so I can keep going. I can keep going. I can keep going. I don't have to give this up. I stopped working for 2 months once they let me go. I stopped working just to get my mind right. I went out of town, took a vacation. I went back to working thinking that once I got to this new job, it was going to be better because I was in a new place. But that ship sank and it made it 10 times worse because not only that they didn't already know I was already dealing with some trauma from my old job, but I'm at this new job and some people already know I'm a trans woman because I used to go to the store a lot before I transitioned. But
Uh-huh.
that wasn't a problem. I didn't care about that. But
Okay.
once I went in and did that, I got that job, the stuff started getting worse. Even when they had a family restroom, but I was still dealing with some problems, and I was dealing with one associate. She harassed me for 3 months straight. So like with that, it started testing my faith with God, and that's when the struggle of my belief came in to my transition.
Okay, so this coworker challenged your faith and threw God in your face.
Well, no, she didn't challenge my faith. My whole just everything in general was challenging my faith of what I was dealing with. I didn't understand like God. I dealt with the sexual assault 3 times. I put that in my spirit. I had deal with that God. I'm dealing with this situation now where I'm accepting who I am. I didn't deal with I got over that. Now I'm going through these obstacles at work and all this trauma and I'm going through these heartaches, I'm going through this pain, I'm going through discrimination and harassment. I'm going through these things, God, that I'm really not mentally prepared for because I've never been treated like that before.
Mm-hmm.
I've
Mm-hmm.
always been so much well respected and gave so much respect that I never in my life thought once I transitioned I was going to be disrespected corporation wise and public wise dealing with people. I didn't think it was like that because mind you, I came from the other world with respect with trans people in the community walking around dating them or just in general with them getting the respect, so when you come from a background of full of respect to a certain amount of girls that's disrespecting each other, but you know the girls are disrespecting each other, to a whole nother world being disrespected consistently, once you're trying to survive as a human being the right way. So of course that will also just start testing your faith with God and make you. The devil will start pulling you. The devil start pulling me, saying, "God don't love you. You see what's going on with you. Look what's going on with you. Look at you. You're a mess. You're crying every day. You're going home. Nobody know you're depressed. Your mama don't know you're depressed. Your siblings don't know you're sad. Nobody know you don't want to be yourself no more. Nobody know but you and God. That's hard to deal with. That's hard to
Okay.
every day to wake up and put your makeup on and go into that job and still be the best trans woman you can be for yourself and for everybody that supports you. And deep inside, you do not love yourself no more. That's hurtful.
Mm. Mm. Okay. Let me ask this, and maybe this is an unfair question. maybe this is an unfair question, but as a trans woman, hmm, did you see the plight of women? And did it make any sense at that particular moment? Or did you take it just completely personally and say, oh, this is happening to me because I'm trans and the world don't understand? Versus saying, okay, I know women go through this, and because I'm a trans woman, I'm a different kind of woman. So this here is part of the thing. This is part of being a woman. Was that anything like that?
No, because it was a different experience. You
Mm,
know, I,
mm.
I would say this trans women and biological women never gonna go through the same experience,
This is true.
and
This is definitely
I
true.
stand by that. You know,
I do too. Yeah.
it's certain the experience is never gonna connect. Now, when it comes to the men, of course, the same thing a man laying in the bed telling a woman at night, "Baby, I love you." He texting a trans girl or somebody in the community who he dating who he with on the side. When he tell that trans girl, "Oh, you the best I ever had," he telling a regular woman, a biological woman, the same thing. So the only thing that they have a connection to in the same struggle is men, and that's just about it. Because the lies a man would tell both. Because that's just about it. But when it comes down to personal experiences, what a biological woman go through, and what a trans woman gonna go through, is gonna be totally different. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? And they have to be separated because it's just
Because they're
even
separate and
law
different. Yeah.
is different. Even through
Yeah.
law is different. Even when you're trying to put it together, the law will let you know that you're different, and that's how I really understood that when I wanted to get my SRS surgery. No matter if I had a sex change, I would never run from being a trans person.
Right.
Even when I would go to the doctor, you have when they say, "Oh, how was your last cycle?" "Oh, I'm not a biological born woman." You have to inform them these things. So the difference was always was going to lie and be there, and that's what I love about being a trans woman because I went through a trans woman experience. I didn't. It wasn't a whole thing about you being discriminated or talked about because you're a biological born woman. No, you're being discriminated and talked about because you're a trans woman because this is the life that you live. You know, yeah, women can get discriminated and harassed as well by men, mistreated all the time in the workplace. But it still is a different environment when it comes out to trans women getting mistreated in the workplace and the biological woman getting mistreated in the workplace.
Yeah, and especially when your Tina got clocked by the bio woman, honey, and she sees you as a threat anyway. And so you got that discrimination to deal with as well, on top of everything
It's,
else.
now, me personally, I only had one female that I technically had a problem with at work like that. But
Uh-huh.
other than that, I never had that issue with women because when women used to be like, "Oh my God, you're so prettier than me," and I used to always stop them and tell them, "No, baby, you, and not me. No, I'm not prettier than you. You are beautiful." I let a woman understand that never put me higher than you because, baby, you pop me out of you as a woman. This is life, and I can't create that kind of life. So never put me higher, no matter how pretty I was, no matter what I done to myself. I don't like when women put themselves beneath trans women because it builds an insecurity that people think women have that women shouldn't have because you should never be intimidated by a trans woman. It's like a trans woman should never be intimidated by a real woman. I hate that it's like that. I hate it, and I just don't even align or assign with that. It's out there, but I don't like it as that's like that because, like I told you before, my mother, my aunties, my sisters, and all them, they don't wake up saying, "Oh, I gotta go figure out what trans girl got a little better, clock." Like that. That's not the energy the women in my life on. We don't. We're not. They're not on the energy. They're not work. Only insecure women are on the energy. But a real woman who's real in her womanhood, she's not on or worried about what a trans woman doing. Even when it comes to men, I always tell people the only thing a trans woman hold on woman head is, "Oh, I got your man." Everybody sleep with that man, baby.
That's why we call
Everybody
them
sleep with that
trade.
man. Everybody got that man. You ain't special. It's just your turn. It's just your turn, baby. And enjoy your turn. you know.
Okay, right.
But
Okay. Okay, now let's go here because you mentioned about your spirituality and carrying on. And I know that there's another uh detransitioner who's all on TikTok. I can't call his name now. And his transition, he's giving it all to God and everything. It is such a, the traditional God done delivered me, the devil had me
yeah.
bound, and this, that, now that. I'm not going to take that away from her experience because that's her life and that's what she believes she's
Hmm.
going through. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Uh, in that essence, though, and in that wheelhouse, this is why I say the church children, because they hear your story, they ready to backflip and be like, okay, Jesus, 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 honey, yes, 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 yes. We told y'all, honey, just be born again, honey, and plead the blood, honey. You can come up out of that mess. Okay. What is that for you and your faith walk and you understanding God, and you kindling God, or you coming back to God, or what does all of that mean for you and your walk?
Well, I always tell people, God rebirthed me spiritually, mentally, and physically. Um, I would have dreams of myself in a coffin as a trans woman.
Mm,
So he was showing me things that was helping me make my decision.
okay.
Some was going to transpire that debt was going to lead upon me as a trans woman.
Mm,
Either was going to be suicidal or getting caught up with the wrong man
mm,
or maybe the wrong woman.
right.
You know, but it was something that I had a few dreams like that way before time before I actually did transition. Um, I had got two spiritual mentors that helped me through that journey because I was lost. Coming from a Christian background, I was lost with why,
Mm,
why God, why do I consistently have to battle these issues, and who else is battling these issues besides
mm,
me?
mm,
You
okay.
know, so when the devil came to me and tried to tell me that man don't love you, God showed me that he loved me when he rebirthed me. I had a dream about me being a man again.
Mm,
I was walking in the ocean on the beach with a woman and some children, and had a family. And I
mm,
had this dream more than one time.
mm,
So it show him showing me, hey, I'm rebirthing you. I'm showing you what I have for you and what's dead for you. My
mm,
transition was dead. It was dead because of all the bad energy that took upon my transition. It had died. And before I lived my life as a lie, my thing was God said, do you want to live a lie or do you want to live the truth?
mm,
And the lie, and my lie was, do you want to stay being a trans woman knowing that's not who you are no more?
mm,
Do you want to continue walking in life knowing that you know that's a serious lifestyle? Do you want to still do this and still be in this when you know that's not you no more? Are you gonna be okay with telling the world that this is ain't you no more?
okay.
Or are you gonna die like this?
Mm,
So when he started showing me them dreams and started making me realize that I had to make a decision,
uh-huh.
and that's when I knew that he was rebirthing me. And I had when I detransitioned, I had wrote on my Facebook, God had rebirthed me, and then when I did it, I felt like a newborn baby
Okay.
because I felt love, I felt accepted, by my family still, by everybody. I still felt. I thought that once I did detransition, that was it for me. When it came down to just people supporting me, but the overall support was amazing. that it helped my faith with God. It helped me get stronger to let me know that God said, now you see what I did? You went through all that. I still made you strong enough to go through it. Now, once you go through it, I want you to use your story to help others get through it.
Okay.
That was my whole look at it now through my whole journey of being a trans woman was to just help somebody get through it.
Okay.
You know, when you feel so defeated, because for people who believe in God as a trans woman, your faith is questioned a lot. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you question, you really do. You start really looking to stuff like, God is really me. Do I really supposed to do? You question yourself more than you question yourself before,
Okay.
because you really want to make sure that your spirit is aligning up with that lifestyle that you live in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And overall that you have God loving you. I will never tell people that God don't love you because of a lifestyle that you live. That's not my job.
Right.
My job is to also let you know that God loves you no matter what area that you need to go through in life, but you have to improve and get it clean. If you're gonna live it, clean it up. If you're gonna live your life as a trans woman, clean it up. If you know you're doing too much and doing too much and it's gonna cause you trauma and error in your life, clean it up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Get
Mm-hmm.
close with God, but clean it up. If you're getting older and you're still doing things and you're not supposed to do it no more, clean it up.
Right.
You know, that's what he really taught me through this journey was clean up. So I clean up. I cleaned up my transition, and it was a struggle when I did transition. It was a struggle mentally because I had to go through. Did I wait a minute? Now I waste all this money I didn't spend. So did I
Uh-huh.
waste all my money?
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know.
Let's go there. Let's go right there. As you were talking, and I shared this with you before, and though transitioning was never something that was in my wheelhouse, uh, I questioned it when I was a kid, though, because, my titties are my titties. These been here, okay, they grew. And the first time that the word transsexual came into my lexicon was when Teddy Pendergrass had the accident and had the trans girl in the car. Okay. And that was the very first time that word entered into my stratosphere, honey. I'm like, what is this? And when I went to go look it up, I was like, oh, wait a minute, and because my chest and stuff, my these like I thought that was me, and because I wasn't a masculine boy, I'm like, oh my God, okay, are you trying to say that I am? You know, and I had to learn to be accepting of who I am. When I started doing drag, for the longest time, Demetrius was on the back burner because Samantha became everything. You know what I'm saying? I stopped buying Demetrius clothes because it was always about the next show. It's always about trying to get this, going to get a wig, going to get lashes, got to, get some hair, practicing a song. It was all about the next show. And so Samantha became the entity. Demetrius was the name, but Samantha became the entity. And it got to a point where I was like, oh, wait a minute, honey, hold on. Okay. I'm gonna hit this motherfucker. It's Red. Y'all, Red is in the I didn't bring him up on camera yet because he just wanted to sit back and listen, but I told him when he's ready to come in. He's sitting over private messages up in here, honey. And I'm gonna hit him. Y'all know how you
Be
get.
cutting up.
Okay. But so I understand only to a point. I can understand when the entity took over and I had to then reclaim Demetrius. Because I had to stop myself one time. I said, wait, I was trying to do something and I didn't have any clothes. All my dress clothes I had, when we go out, we got to have something, just
Hmm.
talking to the kids. I'm from Detroit, baby. We dress. Okay. And I went to my clothes. I said, oh no, honey, I got to go buy something because I needed some dress pants and some shoes and something. And I had to force myself to go buy clothes for Demetrius because I was so busy concentrating on Samantha, you know.
Yeah.
And that was the entity. That was the thing. I had a weekly show. So, Wednesdays was Wacky Wild and Wonderful Wednesdays, So I'm constantly having to get, whatever the case may be. And I did not let me not tell that lie. I was a stunt queen, but not that kind of stunt queen. Okay. Back in the day, because I did my share of checks and credit cards and all that kind of jazz back in my young years. But when I
Young
started doing
chicken
shows,
days.
okay. But when I started doing shows and carrying on, I was not like a lot of those girls, honey, who was going to rip off the fabric stores and all that. That wasn't my
Hmm.
thing because I didn't want to have a jail sentence. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying all that to say I get, trying to understand that entity. But now, as you are seeing this and you're starting to have these dreams coming to fruition, what was it like when you went back and told the girls and your sisters and everybody else, okay, girl, this ain't me no more?
When I got online and then my detransition, I was a part of this group before I detransitioned. It was in Facebook. It was a trans support group. We'll help each other pay bills and stuff like that. That need some help. We try to start a little. Cause my thing was I wanted to start a nonprofit organization to help people because I knew the struggle. I knew the struggle, but I worked. So for me, my struggle wasn't their struggle. Some of them didn't work at all.
Mm-hmm.
So when I post my pictures, the trans community who I was supposed to be cool with turned their backs on me. So I became a mockery. This is why uh, the people don't take us serious as trans people. I had one girl screenshot my stuff, put on her page, and she wrote a big old thing about it. And I had got on video. I started crying because I'm like, well, wait a minute, y'all don't ask me what happened through my transition, so we can get to the point of why I detransition. I'm almost 11 years in the game. It ain't no 2 or 3 years, baby. I'm close to 15 years in this thing of
Mm-hmm.
doing this consistently. Even when my lights got dark, I still kept going because I say, "This is me. This is me. This is me," and I was standing by that for the longest. So for them to call me all kind of names and say, that I'm the reason. I don't have nothing to do with your transition. If that's you, what's me is me. I never one time got online and told people disrespect any trans person. I may have said some things to people who have said some things out of character to the whole as a union, as us.
Mm-hmm.
Now with a lot of trans girls, they quit to call the boys in the LGBT community the Bible or the gay ones. They quit to call them the F bomb in a minute.
Right.
You know, so for me, it was like, wait a minute now. Y'all talking about homophobic, transphobic, but here y'all go doing just as worse. You're not accepting one of your peers as a detransition trans person. So now I can't even speak on nothing trans matters no more. I gotta shut my mouth because I'm exit out the island of the transsexual island now. Pretty much. That's what it
Oh,
is. Like once you
they put you over
detransition,
there to the Isle of Misfit
they
Toys,
put me
baby.
on they put me on the island with Flame and Buck Angel because they can't stand them two most wisest OG in the game, and I just be like, y'all didn't put me on the island where y'all don't want anybody who can speak the realness. I never spoke against anything. I don't have to agree with all of it because I
Right.
don't. I think that trans people should have their own Olympic sports. I don't think that trans people should play in the sports with biological people. I just don't feel that. I compete against each other. That's the fun thing about it. You know what I'm saying? I just feel that things should be separated because you want something that you can call your own as a community. This is the first that instead of trying to always hop over to take over because there's always going to be some problems. So it's like fire and desire are what works. Because if
Okay.
not, being cool, calm, and collected, understanding and having a table of differences and respecting each other, that can't work. The only way it works is, hey, we keep causing confusion on this side, but then we can be transphobic and homophobic towards our own people. We don't agree or they don't agree with us no more or agree with being trans, or the ones who detransition automatically get executed because they didn't stop a lifestyle that they don't feel that fit them no more. You rather stop the lifestyle than continue it, because when you continue it, then they do become a mockery. You know what I'm saying? At
Mhm.
some point, like for me, I never mark it because I only continue mine because I really felt that what I was doing was right. But
Mhm.
until I started getting them dreams and I started feeling the way I feel and I started understanding that, hey, I'm disconnecting from this. I can't do this no more. I don't want to get my hair done no more. I don't want the nails no more. I don't want the makeup no more. I don't want the laser hair removal no more. When you start saying, I don't want this no more, you just begin to just really start unpeeling your life back to being who you want, really desire to be. And that's who you was born to be. Everybody got their own boat, and I'm in mine.
Mhm. Mhm. Let me ask this. Being on on the Isle of Misfit Toys, honey, because you've gotten tossed out, quote unquote. What is your sustaining ability here? Because when the community that you have been supporting, entrusting, around you, it's did it feel like a betrayal? Kind of,
It
does
was.
it, okay, because
It is.
I feel that, so I don't want to get emotional about it, because it's like, damn, I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. And the bitches who I thought would understand this shit, y'all mad because I'm not helping. I'm not down with the sisterhood. Well, I am, but shit, y'all just be my sisters. For whatever this is, it's no longer for me anymore. And I don't know why. And this is all speculatory and trying to understand the why. And I'm going to compare this to this, because this is what I experienced when I had my gastric sleeve surgery. 'Cause I used to be 500 pounds, 520. All right. When I had my gastric sleeve surgery that I did not want to have, it's not like I ran to and have it. When I had got down to my lowest weight, which was half of my size, 260, okay, I did not know who I was in the mirror because I was losing it too fast.
Hmm.
And when I said that, I was on Facebook in a group, that talk about weight loss or whatever. Them bitches told me that I had a mental problem. Okay, that I was mental, I was crazy. And I was like, wait a minute, how am I crazy when I'm telling you, honey, something is not right, because I don't see myself. I'm losing this weight too goddamn fast. And I didn't think it was going to happen like this, right?
Yeah.
Then came, now that I'm no longer a big guy, I love big boys. Okay. I love a big old boy. But because I was no longer a big boy in their eyes, everything that I was attracted to, honey, looked at me as if, okay, I got the nose turn up treatment. I got the betrayal, like, damn, you lost the weight. Now you think you a skinny bitch. That whole thing, Monique, skinny bitches are evil. I went through all of that. Then I felt like I was losing my identity, because I've been big man for so long. Hey, Big Chief, what's up? Now my aesthetics were no longer Big Chief. Well, 260 pounds have never been small. It's just that for, the change, these folks here in Atlanta don't know a 260-pound meat.
Hmm.
Okay. Detroit does, because they knew when I first got to 260 before I became 500. Okay. So they knew what that journey was. And so that whole betrayal of being tossed out, thrown out, hell, Big Boy Pride didn't even want me there. I come walking through one day, child. They were like, oh, bitch, what the fuck are you doing here? You
Too
know,
skinny for them, man.
Exactly. And so now comparing that to you here, okay, bitch, we were sitting up here talking about hair and carrying on and who did your hair. Bitch, your titties are not who did your work. We on that kind of conversation to where now it's like, okay, bitch, I'm over it. No, I don't feel all this no more and blah, 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 blah. Then it's like they turn, like, okay, well, no, I'm picking up my marbles and I'm going home. You can't play no more. I mean, what the fuck you mean I can't play no more? Okay, wait a minute. Red said I was trained. Okay. Uh DC, shut up. He talking about these women treat me the same way after I lost these 7 ounces. Hush up, DC. Hush up. So, so now that you have said to the girls, this is no longer me. Okay. What gave you the courage to stand in it and say, this is no longer me, and yet still able to say that I'm a trans, I can still be a trans activist in Canada, and I can still support my trans sisters. I can still support y'all, whether you support me or not. How do you able to do
because
that?
God allowed me to. It was needed, you know. Um, it was needed for me to still be an activist for something who I understand. I
Mm-hmm.
understand it. You know what I'm saying? Being trans is a mental disorder. You know, people understand. You have to go get diagnosis. It's a gender dysphoria. That's a mental disorder,
Mm-hmm.
and that's you have to accept that part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, I could just turn a blind eye because it's not my problem no more. Like I
Mm-hmm.
told you, I can blend in society. I don't have to worry about, none of that no more. I can just go walk my life. When I go to the store, nobody know nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a regular man. But they'll be selfish of me because that's not why God brought me this far to this journey. Do not advocate for the right reasons, not the wrong reasons, the right reasons for the trans community. Because I do have trans sisters. I'm not on top of them every day, but I do have trans sisters. I do know 3 other trans girls that was murdered. You know what I'm saying? Um, it may have not been person to person like some other girls know, but we have bypassed each other, spoke to each other, had conversations with each other. So these girls get murdered. Black trans women get murdered more than anybody. So I wanted to make sure I stay advocating for that. Hey, these black sisters are getting murdered, but let's pinpoint the reasons and let's see what can we do to make this better. For the
Mm-hmm.
girls in the community because the other trans girls can escort and none become a target. So why the black girls can escort and they get set up? It's the reason why
Mm-hmm.
it's like that. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta really look into why it's like that. So when you got somebody like me who then read the cases on why girls and got killed, knowing that some of these cases is from their clients, knowing that some of these cases is from their lovers who are not comfortable with being themselves or being a man who will never want to be seen with you in public, no matter how beautiful you are, because once somebody found out, your life become debt to them. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I didn't let all day bad energy um, mess up my mission to support the ones who needed to be supported. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying?
Let, let,
I wasn't gonna let them destroy my mission.
okay, cool. Red, you ready? Because he's talking about now at the time. Wait a minute. I don't see you. Where you at? He there. Oh, okay. There we go. You fuzzy.
What's up, Red?
There we
What's up,
go.
King? Look here, man. I'm sure you know who I am and how I get down. Okay, so let's make sure we're clear on that. Now, I've preached this and I've said this so many times. When it comes to the case of people doing bodily harm, murders, actions against the transgender community. I've always said this, and this is a tit for tat thing with me and my brother up there. It's about announcing who you are and those that do things, and then after the deed is done, even if it's escort service, then they're worried about the world or their community themselves finding out what they have done.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it ain't always the girl's fault for not telling them that they was, that they were transgender. A lot of times it's, oh yeah, I want to try this, but I don't want nobody able to find out. So they already have a preconceived notion or a premeditated situation in their mind. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this escort service for this transgender to come up in here, have a great time, but they won't let her tell about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's what I call, it's a thing that's not balanced. You know what I'm saying? You can't put all the weight on the transgender community, but at the same time, it's a lot of them out there that don't speak who they are. They try to feel into a woman totally try to be deceitful in situations of intimacy. And a lot of times during the time of intimacy or right after or even right before, they find out and people freak out. Everybody's not mentally capable of handling that type of situation.
This is true.
I'm telling you from some symptomatic experience from the military where I had to go pick up some guys for the police to turn them over to the military police, which I was. Went to a hotel, and it just so happened I knew the guys. They picked up a working girl, trans, went to the room. One of them completed their mission. The other one went to complete his mission, and I guess he got a little rough, and everything hadn't been done yet. You understand what I mean?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, there's a big brawl, and they're tearing up the hotel room. Now the police is there.
Have mercy.
But my thing is this: you really didn't say who you were, or what you were, or how you was walking in life, because the first one completed his mission. He stepped outside and let his friend go in. Because had he known, he probably would have said something to his friend.
Okay.
But his friend went in there thinking it was a woman. They thought they picked up a woman. But it's just like, that's where those cases come from on one side, but that's just one side of it, because you can't put it on all the transgender community.
On one side.
Because you got sick-minded people out there. You got some sick-minded people out there that I want to crack cocaine, but I don't want to be strung out, and I don't want nobody to know I did it.
Right. Okay. Let me interject here, because I want to go here, and this here would be a little bit of a pushback, because the idea that we all know that gender dysphoria is in the mental health books, and that there is what they want everybody to believe, that everybody's sick, they're crazy, because you want to live your life this way and blah, blah, blah. At the same time, as we all know, there are nuances and there are variations to all of this, because in your case, King, you got to a point where you're like, okay, this is no longer working for me. We have other sisters, honey, who are in their 60s and 70s, to where they, those are the, like you say, the OGs of this thing, and they know, no, I'm a woman, and this is how I live. A lot of them live stealth, and that was going to be a question I was going to ask you when you said you were an introvert. Did you find living as a trans woman that it was best that you stayed stealth and not necessarily in the culture? Because a lot of girls feel like, because I'm a woman now, or I did it, they don't associate with gay folks, because now I'm a heterosexual woman. So I don't deal with the sissy boys. I don't deal with all that anymore. I'm not a showgirl, especially those who never done shows or whatever, and they live their lives stealth. They stay away from all those who can clock them and carry it on and this, that, and the other. What is that in that wheelhouse for you?
Well, the stuff where I never wanted to live like that, but I can't say it got like that because of somebody I was dating.
Okay.
And see, when I was in relationships, as well. You know what I'm saying, with some of these people. But the last person I was in a relationship with was a rapper, an undercover rapper from out here.
Okay.
So we was in a relationship for like almost a year. My friend, my biological female friends, was the only people who was around us. You know what I'm
Okay. Got
saying?
it. Oh.
So sometimes when you become in a relationship, that automatically it makes it look like that because it become that because you're in a relationship. But for me, I just always been an introvert because I'm just a private person. So
Okay.
I only was in the community because of who my attachment was from my needed family. That's what Bowlegs and them.
Uh-huh.
If it wasn't for Bo, I wouldn't have been out so much as a trans girl because I like to stay at home. I was working. I just want to get some sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Right.
and then I was engaged. So some girls, that's their life. They like living like that, and they mind come to think that this is me. I don't have to be around gay people. I don't have to do that because I blend in, and that's the wrong way to think because through the government, you're still trans. You ain't
Okay.
gonna run from that. You know what I'm saying? So no matter how much you blend in, you ain't gonna run from that part of it. So I wasn't that type who didn't want to be around the gays or whatever. I didn't want to be around anybody who was going to cause a confusion in my life, no matter you
Did
was
you know what?
heterosexual or
Oh,
homosexual.
yeah, you know what, King? I've always thought that community. I started calling them a secret society when I used to work downtown in the clubs, right? Because you only seen a few of the regulars on certain days. It was like they were scheduled to come out to these particular places on this particular day. So say like I know if I work a party Thursday night on this street at this club, I'm going to see so and so, so and so, so and so, so and so, guaranteed every Thursday. But if I work
Hmm.
all the other days of the week, you don't even see them. Nobody who socialized with them. So I always thought it was a safety thing. You get what I'm saying? I
Mm.
always thought maybe they moved based on their security and safety wise because they go through a lot. They go through a
Yeah.
lot, and I got. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. Me being a heterosexual guy and understanding and a minister at this time, I understand it. I'm gonna put it to you like this. And my wife is a minister as well, so she made it clear to me like that God loves you. He has a problem with the sin.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Can you understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So anytime you have an issue with self-love, self-worth, or whatever, he's never taking his hands off of you, but he's shunning and reprimanding you, and the emotional stuff that's stirring up inside of you is because of the sin part of it. You understand what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So you never was an introvert. You was a bad child that knew better and was trying to do better, but at the same time, you have a compassionate heart and you want to be a representative for that community because you have already experienced it, which I take my hat off to you on that. That's great. You know that he sent a message to you and said that's not for you, but you also can be an ally or an advocate for that situation, and that's an awesome thing.
Hmm.
Don't be judgmental. You know what I'm saying? Don't be reactive. Be proactive, and that's cool.
Okay. Um,
Yeah, yeah. Hold on, Cupcake talking shit. What you say?
No, I just want to make it clear, like a lot of people will like knock the church. I'm
Huh.
gonna say like not all churches are like the ones that are very judgmental.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, nobody has the right to
Hmm.
judge nobody's lifestyle. That's your lifestyle. Only thing that the churches are to do or supposed to do is just be like, hey, we love you. We're not knocking what you do because that's your life. You have to answer to your life. But we're here to just teach the word of God and tell you about the sin, but not try to shove it down your throat
Yeah,
like
no,
most of them do.
nobody's gonna do this to you.
Right. That's not what they're supposed to
I ain't with
do.
all that. I ain't with all
That's
that.
not what they're supposed to do. God says
Mm-hmm.
love, agape love. It's how you're supposed to treat people. But you know, some of these people are like that high and mighty. Oh, I'm church. You see what I'm saying? And there is wrong because they're not supposed to judge because a lot of them, if they were to pull skeletons out their closet, you wouldn't be surprised what they have.
Exactly.
So you're supposed to show people what God has for you. So your lifestyle is your lifestyle. We're supposed to love you anyway. We don't have to accept the sin part, but we're accepting you as a person. So I don't want anybody to be out here, oh my God, these church folks. It's not all church people. Because like I love everybody. I don't care whether you're lesbian, gay, heterosexual, whatever. I love you for the person that you are. I don't have to agree with your lifestyle, but I'm not gonna shove it down your throat like, oh nah, you ain't supposed to. I'm not gonna do that because eventually one day it's gotta deal with you. That's who's supposed to deal with you, not us. We just gotta continue to love on you. So that's what I want to say. But I don't want anybody to be like, oh y'all church people. I know what I can't do.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. Before we were ministers, baby, you don't want to know about them skeletons between me and her. All right.
Well,
that's been my partner through the grime, through the sin, and now we're on the way to win because we had that same thing come to us like it came to you.
Mm-hmm.
Use it in the favor, you know what I'm saying, of reach one, teach one, because nobody can tell you your walk. Okay. I mean, think about this. Meech, how many people look at me and you crazy when we out eating or going somewhere or whatever? They look at us crazy out the door because I'm 100% heterosexual man, but I'm an ally of the community of people. If it makes sense to me, I'm a support it. Can't nobody tell you. And the first thing the Bible teaches you is choice. Everybody got a choice, good or bad. But at the end, God is love. That's what they say. That's what the book says, right? Then it is our duty to love everybody. Period.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just keep going. And I want to see bigger things from you. You hear me? I want to see King. I want to see bigger things from you.
This is the beginning.
All right.
Yeah. The beginning. But let me go here because I don't want to hold it. Oh, we almost at 2 hours, child.
Mm-hmm.
That's because you talk too much.
I know. Y'all know talking is my hobby. Let's go here because now that you are here, now that you are comfortable enough to say this is who I am, okay, now that you are able to stand 10 toes down, waist deep in it, okay, and say, take me as I am, okay, I am a former trans person, honey. I'm a man, born male, live my life as a trans. I detransition. I live my life as a man. You know, that have that experience. I am bi, you know, and you know, are you bi or pan? Because now we got all these damn terminologies.
Well, I'm not pan. I'm me. You know, like I said, I stopped. You know, as I got older, after I detransitioned, all that other stuff just came out the door. You know, but like I always say, a bisexual experience is what it is.
Remember I told you? Z.
You know, so it's just like I'm just me.
Anybody
I
ask
don't
you now,
do
can you Z?
I should have because you know when I tell people like, well, I would say when I would say bisexuals because you know people you be active, you know, active in the community, you still bisexual, you know. But for me, I haven't fell in love with nobody. And I know for a fact in the community with a trans man, if they're not willing to have children and be ready for that, then there's no need for us to just hunch because I know that's all you want from me. So for me, you know, I just staying firm and just working on myself and working on getting myself together as a man. So some people will say, oh, you're still bisexual. because that's what you done did all your life, you know. But for me, it's just like, hey, I'm me. They say, well, what is pansexual? I don't know what a pansexual is. The only thing I know is what I cook in. You know, just like
Okay.
with the non-binary, I don't know what non-binary area is because all this new stuff is confusing to me. It's only what's
It's
straight or
confusing
bisexual
everybody
or
who
gay.
deal with it.
You
Yeah.
know, so yeah, you know, you can say bisexual. You know, 'cause what people will say is still bisexual, but when people get to know me, they know that I'm me. You know, when it comes down
Okay.
to just being me with the whole situation and what I've been dealing with now, because I'm not as active as I used to be in the community. The people who I did mess with, there was somebody from people from my past, and I don't mess with
Right.
them no more.
You know, let me ask this, and this is getting into your personal business, because I know when I was listening with you with Flame, Flame is also a trans woman who is sexually attracted to trans men. Okay. When you made that connection, did you feel like, oh my God, I'm not alone anymore? Because we don't hear that a lot about trans. Well, no, let me rephrase that. We hear it, but we don't hear it with Black folks. We hear it with our Caucasian counterparts, because a lot of the Caucasian trans women, you know, once they transition, they still with their wives and carrying on, you know, or they got, you know, I mean, hell, Caitlyn Jenner, you know, she claims she's still attracted to women, but then I guess she had a boyfriend recently, so
Hmm.
whatever that is.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we come down to the whole aspect of it, because what a lot of people hear about transitioning is that, oh, you just want to be a girl so that you can have sex with boys. Okay. But then when you sit down there and say, oh, wait a minute, no, I'm transitioning, but I'm still attracted, you know, I'm still attracted to female, or I'm attracted to trans men. And they look at you like, what would, wait a minute, that don't make sense. And why would you, you know, what was all of that for you to to process, uh, to work through, or was that part of the stuff that kept you imprisoned?
Mm.
Um, when it comes to what the bisexual lifestyle being a trans woman.
When it comes down to understanding you, when let's take the girls for instance, okay? Because I'm sure that a lot of your the insensitive treatment came from the girls, okay? When the girls found out, honey, that okay, you ain't got no trade on your arm, you were trans men, okay? And then when straight people find out, okay, you did all this, and they say you still sleep with women. Well, what the hell is the point? I thought you wanted
Mm.
to be a girl to sleep with the boy. Well, that don't make sense. You know, I'm sorry, I had a flashback.
Hey, hey,
You know,
Oh,
for what it was this. What I
I
was
just had a
when I
flashback. I'm
transitioned
sorry.
when I transitioned into being you know, trans, me being women was always gonna be there because I love women. I had a connection with women beyond sex. Women are
Uh,
beautiful within themselves. You know, if you sit down and really learn a woman, you really know how beautiful women is inside and out as human beings.
uh,
So me being a woman was never gonna leave. When I was attracted with trans men, I'm attracted to the situation of the transition of it all because I was a trans, so that made me, you know, accept. Hey, this is honestly this who I thought I was supposed to really be with. Once I transitioned, my thing was this: if you want a family and you want to live a certain way, that's why you and trans. That's why trans men and trans women came about. So y'all can have a family, make a family, have children together, get married, live
uh,
somewhat of a
uh,
heterosexual lifestyle.
wow,
sorry.
that's deep right there. That's
I,
deep.
I I need to raise my hand on this one because yeah, it sounds like you broke a penile clove right there. Hold on one second. Look. So what you saying is, and no Meech, I'm not going there. Calm down.
Okay, don't do it.
Okay. As a transgender, you still had this love for women and even had intimate relations with women, right?
Hmm.
So it's pretty much like a stud with no batteries, right? Like you was
Yeah.
right. You understand what I'm saying? Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm trying to make this as clean as possible. Okay, so you're going right. So with that right there, is that the thing where you're just saying, okay, like people being together because like they want to have a relationship and they actually want to bring children into it? So the stud is end up carrying the baby because she still got the working monthly issues, right?
Right.
Okay, this is confusing, but that's because I'm heterosexual and it's not my business. But
Yeah. But it may, but you know what? That's the first time that I've heard somebody say that, and that makes perfect sense, King.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm
So that's
right
what.
there with you.
hey, can y'all explain to the third grader, please?
I never
Well,
would have thought about that. You know,
well, see,
okay,
when I
it's
transitioned,
like
I
this.
thought about that.
It's like this. You know how they say there's always somebody out there for everybody.
Right.
Okay. Well, if I'm living my life as a trans woman,
Okay.
okay, pre-operative, because I still got the downstairs is still the same.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I know about that.
Okay.
Okay.
But I'm attracted to a trans man who is pre-operative.
Okay.
And can still carry, you know, they haven't gone so far to where they're not able to carry babies anymore. You know, they haven't had a hysterectomy and all that kind of stuff.
Correct. Okay.
So the idea is if we want to have a family, though I live my life as a woman, he lived his life as a man, we're still able to biologically have children and raise a family.
So to be a pregnant man.
Exactly.
Okay. That's amazing. That's a lot to handle.
But
It
see,
is a lot to handle, but
mentally, it's a lot.
It's
It's
a lot to
confusing.
handle.
It is confusing, but to me, when you overall look at the lifestyle of it, and when you got a lot of people say, "Oh, I want children," you know what I'm saying? And you got trans, because a lot of trans men still want to have sex with men, believe it or not,
right.
and
Yeah.
majority of them do it on the down low. They become
Right.
trans men and become on the down low. They got wives. They become just as worse as the fake straight men. Like it's really serious. They come just
Wow.
as worse because
A lot of that comes from the
it,
hormones because testosterone does that.
to a certain extent, the
Yeah.
hormones does that to a certain extent, but half of it because they want to.
Because
Because
we're not going to
well,
eliminate
well,
that.
Yeah.
yeah,
Let's
yeah, I'm never gonna eliminate that.
not take away from the
Well, I'm
natural
never gonna
orgasm.
eliminate. Yeah, I'm never gonna eliminate the hormones of it all because it's, the hormones do since it do
Right.
make you want to do more. But when it comes down to just natural, like you said, naturalness of what it is, I think some have a problem with not want to sleep with a man publicly as a woman, but
Right.
want to sleep with a man, as a trans man. So they feel more of a different connection, than they do to them sleeping with a man being a woman, which
Right.
is weird because now, like, people want to know why you sleeping with a man as a trans man, like why you want to have sex with a man, why you want to get done. But that's what the game is now. These men, this is
Well,
how it is.
a lot of that goes back to what I just said. I just had my friend. That don't make sense. I thought you wanted to be a boy, so you could sleep with the girl, but you want to be a boy to be with the boys. You know that, and a lot of folks are not understanding that because they can't separate gender identity from sexual orientation. And
Yeah,
then you just got folks out there who just fucking freaks. Okay, now
yeah,
that we can put that element there too, because the question I'm going to ask you was about being a fetish, because that there I think is very important.
Right.
Understanding that when because you said something that was significant, and that was, oh my God, I done did all this, but you only want me because of the aesthetics. You don't want me for me. You want me for your fantasy. You want me because, oh my God, you done romanticize my breast and I'm titties at the top, dick at the bottom. Okay, you done romanticize that. So now you're only seeking after me so that you could have your fantasy come true. And once you did it, you throw me to the side. You don't care nothing about me, what I like. You don't want to know about my favorite color. Okay,
hmm
no aspirations for me. So when you started to check out, how did you get around the whole idea of the fetish world and understanding fetish now. How is it that you're able to keep that from becoming a part of who you are now?
Hmm.
Well, me as a man, I'm more grounded, meaning I'm more stronger
Mm-hmm.
when it came down to being. When I was a trans woman, I became weak in a submissive way.
Explain that.
That because in my mind, I thought since I became a trans woman, I had to 1000% be submissive. That the dominant side that I have inside me had to go away because any masculine side I show is a sign of, oh, I'm still a man, but mentally not. You're still
Mm.
biologically born a man. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it went that direction with it.
Oh, okay. Let's go right there. Let's stay right there because I want to fester right there.
I actually understood that.
Uh
Okay.
huh. I want to fester right there because I know, and I've said this. I've said this because I hate when I see this with feminine gay men who want to be bitches, and I'm saying
Hmm.
it just like that. Real feminine gay men who think that because they
Women don't
feminine,
act right
they're
there.
supposed to be a bitch,
I don't understand that. But go ahead.
you know. And when I see that with trans women who forget, you know, that you are a dual energy, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
when I see that, when I see that, it pisses me off because you think that because you are the female or the woman or the feminine energy that you're supposed to just accept a man kicking your ass, a man just talking to you in your kind of way
you right up. Yep,
because of that. Even bottoms, okay, even in gay relationships, the bottom who's very feminine,
we'll do
okay,
that.
will do that just
Mm-hmm.
to say I got a man. You understand? Or they romanticized all of that machismo shit that only works in the bedroom. You understand? We like all that machismo shit because it's cute in the bedroom. After we done did our thing, honey, and we done huffed and puffed and sweating and carrying on, and we done got that last, that exhale moment, bitch. Okay, we done got up to wash up. You don't call me them names out here like that with that tone of voice. Who the fuck are you? You know what I'm saying? So
I'm, I'm sorry. I'm sorry because I just had a mental like you. This 2 weeks ago, I had this heterosexual conversation with a rapper guy, and you know how you sit in somebody's presence. It's the same subject matter, and they have a
yeah,
female that they're dating. Well, we're
yeah.
sitting there. He was like, I said, hey man, can I get one of the waters out of the refrigerator? He was like, oh yeah, yeah. He was like, bitch, get him water. You know when he said, I'm like,
Right.
bitch, get him water. Like, and she responded and got the water. I was confused at the time because like I thought that was your girl. You know what I'm saying? So when people submit down to that type of thing, I be confused. Like,
Right.
why you'll fight a man on the street that call you that,
Exactly.
but you're right here in this
But
house,
because I
you got
got a
to
man,
respect it.
but
Right?
because I got a man, this is it. And
Don't be.
and having that experience, King, what did that do? Because I like how you said it weakened me. And see, when we talk about being weak, here I did. This is the wait a minute. This is the better question. The better question is, as a trans woman, we know that the feminine that the feminine energy or women in this world are always seen as the weaker sex. Okay,
Hmm.
what was that like for you? Because you just said, "Oh, because I'm transitioning, I thought I was supposed to do this."
Yeah,
So let's talk
it
about
was
that.
a
What was that shift, and how did you come out of it before transitioning, detransitioning?
Mm-hmm.
before I came out of the shift of just being submissive.
Yeah, how did you come out of that whole, or did you come out of that whole
What
idea?
it took me a while to came out of it because I already was programmed for so long to be so submissive because I was a top, meaning I used, what I'm
Right.
saying, so I didn't want to bottom.
Right.
And when I did try it, it was very sudden with people who I was in a relationship with, just to try to make the relationship fit for what it
Right.
was. But for the most of the part, I didn't like to do that. But I, in my mind, became to be submissive because of what the situation was, and I felt that that's what a woman. I watched women be so submissive to men and get so broken down to where they so weak that it became just a visual of this is what it takes to be a woman, and this is what it means to make a man happy, no matter whether a trans man or whatever. This is what it takes to make them happy. If I'm this weak, once I knew I was detransitioned, I gained my strength back. I gained my full dominant side back and saying, wait a minute, I don't have to take this. They don't fit my agenda no more. It don't fit me to be submissive no more. Like I don't
Ooh.
have to be submissive to no man or nobody because men are submissive to women too.
Right.
It's
Right.
just in a different
Right.
way. So
Right.
I don't have to be some. When a man submisses to a woman, it's usually out of love for his wife or his spouse. When it comes submissive, it's a different way than being submissive, like in a bedroom. So I was like, well, I don't have to be submissive in the bedroom to nobody no more. I can take full control of my full manhood. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So
Because
let me
now
ask.
the trans woman side of me is gone because in your mind as a trans, if you once again if you show any kind of masculinity,
Masculine. Right. Then yeah,
you
you get
are
talked about.
you
The
you
girls that talk
automatically
about
get you deemed down. Even the girls now, into this data, a lot of girls they show that energy. They're not just super feminine. They got a lot of trans girls who are hood trans in a way. You know what I'm saying?
you.
Like
Right. Right.
so they move a certain way. They still got that gangster in them, and maybe that's because of how they was brought up. And that gangster never gonna leave them. So it comes
Right.
off when they become trans. It comes off masculine. When really that's just how they was raised.
Uh-huh.
That G style gangster lifestyle not gonna leave that person because that's in them. So for me, the
Wow.
submissiveness was in me. So once I stopped that transition, I said, okay, Lord, I ain't gotta be submissive. I don't gotta do all that. You know what I'm saying? I don't gotta go out my way to please no man no more. Not in that way anyway.
Wow. You know what? Let me ask you this, and this may be unfair. So that's my disclaimer. But let me ask you this. Hmm. I'm gonna shoot from the hip because I was trying to be cute.
It wasn't
Do
working.
you feel? Hmm. No, because
He
I
said he was
don't want to
trying
be
to
disrespectful. Yeah, I don't want to be disrespectful because see what the way how I'm hearing this is that you a better woman now than what you ever has been by accepting your masculinity. You know what I
Pretty much.
mean? And what I
I
mean
get
by
it.
that is because you know who you are. And so
Yeah.
Hey,
if it means
you about to make me snap.
and the reason why I say that is
I'm about to
because
get
I
him.
went through something similar. Okay. I went through something similar because there was a time where I would wear, caftans and men's pants. Okay. And I would buy my caftans from the female department and I would pair them up with wear a pair of men's pants. So that was my androgynous period. And again, because Samantha was the dominant energy, whenever I wasn't all done up or whatever, that was just my everyday wear. Well, just one particular time, I'm in the store, Value City Clothes, child, and I just happened to be walking through, and I saw a pair of pants, and I said, "Oh, that's a hot color." And damn it, them damn pants were navy blue.
Mm.
Everybody who knows navy blue knows that navy blue ain't never been no hot color. It's navy blue. It is the most basic and masculine color outside of black there is. Okay. And something I got nervous because I was like, okay, what? And all of a sudden there was this surge in me that I couldn't explain. And one day I was getting dressed, and I went to go put on one of my caftans, and I had one with a Nefertiti crown, you know, a full Nefertiti, and I bought it in all the colors that they had. They had it in black, they had it in green, and royal blue. And so I'm sitting up there, and I put the royal blue one on, honey, because I'm going to go let them have it, and this, that, and when I put it on, it didn't feel right. Right? It didn't feel right. I was like, oh. You know. So I said, okay, well, maybe it's the color. Let me put on the black one. I put the black one on, and it did make me sick. It's just that I knew if I walked outside, I didn't have no confidence in it. I was like, no, this ain't giving, you know. So it was then that I realized that
you was a boy.
Something was going on. So I called my best friend and I said, okay, girl, something wrong. Okay. And Yubi started laughing at me. That bitch laughed at me. I said, bitch, this ain't funny. This ain't funny. Navy blue ain't never been no damn hot color. I said, bitch, I walked in there and said, navy blue is a hot color. Something is going on. Something is wrong. She said, that boy kicking you in your ass, ain't he? And I said, what?
You found out you was a boy, man?
He say, you've been running from that boy for so long to where you ain't got no choice but to face him. He kicking you in your ass. And so it was
that's fun.
That I started to look at everything. And so and right when you said, you know, going back to what I knew, you know, my strength of this, that, and the other, I knew when I was a kid, I always went to earth tones. I was always in browns and navies and carrying on. That's all, you know. When we had Garanimals, I always had the navy with the white, you know, kind of like the sailor uniform or whatever. That when I was a kid, though, you know, and when he said that boy kicking you in your ass, ain't he? I had to realize that I was okay with the man that I am, even though I'm not the most masculine and all of those kind of things. I carry a purse or whatever it is that I do. I'm okay being the man that I am. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sharing that because I'm hearing the same similar kind of walk with you and understanding. No, being submissive is not what I wanted to do. No, I ain't never like that. I just did it because I thought that that's what I was supposed to do. But in my transition, now that I'm here, no, that ain't what I want to do. And if being a woman means, or being a trans woman means that I'm supposed to do that, that's not me. That's not what I do. That's not how we do this. And then your happiness was like, okay, wait a minute, I'm not happy here. You know, I'm not. This ain't what this was supposed to. And then you look at it, just like you said, did I just waste all this fucking money? I just gave you 11 years to this. All these shoes, purses, dresses, matching this, matching hats. You know,
Meech, you got to remember Meech. You know what you forgot? You got to think about this too. And I'm speaking in terms of King himself. You know what I'm saying? I can't speak for everybody else. But when you're devastated by the loss of your major support system that somebody as close as his grandmother was,
right?
A lot of times, your life decision making puts you in a state of where your mental meets your emotional and your spiritual.
This is very true. This is very true.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very true. Very, very true.
And there's no couch or clipboard or medication that can help you with that. It's just something that you have to relax in.
Then let's go here with the question, because then the question becomes this. You said something very significant. You said my grandmother never saw me after I got my breast done and carried on. She never saw me in my transition. Was your 11 years
what I'm getting at,
holding on to her to say was and this is just speculatory.
A part of me probably was. because when you have, you can have your mother support, your dad's support, but when you have your grandma's support, it's like a
Right.
different
Yeah. That's a
support
that's a
from a
whole different.
grandparent.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
It's
a
a
whole different
whole
thing.
nother different ball game. Cause like you look at them kind of different. Like I'm scared of mom and daddy, but shit, I'm more scared of grandparents.
Right.
So for me, when it came down to losing my grandma, probably that approval she gave me
Uh-huh.
made me go further in my transition. That approval, she said, to don't touch your face, don't have an SRI surgery. Well, even though when I wanted these things, mentally, it's what I felt. But even though she was telling me was right, she gave me the approval to be okay. It's gonna be all right.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, that was the whole keep going and not failing them. I didn't want to. I felt like if I would have said when I got fire lows, I want to detransition then, which honestly I should have. That was
Okay.
my sign then. I should have
Okay.
detransitioned then,
Okay.
but I didn't because, like I said, I was still trying to find my way in and then say, okay, well, that's just one bad apple, one bad tree. We can shake that tree and make it a bigger, better tree if we go to the next one. And then when I
Mm-hmm.
started seeing how that tree was just as rotten, then I had realized that this is just dead. And I should have woke up after those and just say, okay, let's not go this further because it's not
Okay.
going to get better for you. It's going to get worse. So yeah,
Okay.
the approval of her made me thrive more through my
Mm-hmm.
transition because I didn't want to fail nobody. I didn't want to. I said when you get so much support, it's hard looking back and saying, I don't want to do this. And they're like, dang, we support you because it's so much hard for black people in this community to get that kind of support. So for me, I feel like I robbed somebody who needed that kind of love and support. I feel like
Mm.
at one point I feel like I robbed another trans person or somebody in the LGBTQ lifestyle. I robbed them from having that kind of family support that they needed that they can never get from nobody. They had no choice but to find other people to get that from. But when I got it right there in the house, that's a whole nother different vibe. It's a whole nother different energy, you
Right.
know. And it makes me hurt for other people that don't have that support because I'm a
Mhm.
living witness that your family can be Christian, diehard Christians from both sides, and still be love all the way around when it comes down to your journey in life.
Is it safe to say that a lot of this was out of obligation to other people and you finally released the obligation?
Uh, the beginning of my transition was obligated to me. The rest of the half was obligated to everybody else.
And then you came back to you.
And then I finally came back to me. Once I started having them dreams and I started realizing what it they tell you gotta send you some dreams ahead of time before you can really
Right.
get your life in order. He'll start letting you realize and start seeing things. And just because this didn't work out for me doesn't mean that it may not work out for the next person. My job is to stand for the detransition people and to stand to support people who just want to be themselves regardless of who you are, and so they can have a lifeline, somebody who have understand them and won't. I ain't gonna judge you. I'm here to support you, no matter if you want to be trans for the rest of your life. But you need support because that trial is not an easy trial.
Right.
I wish I had sat down with Raquel Lloyd, in them. And I wish I would have sat down when I seen Miss Tommy Ross run through there looking so beautiful and sat down and listen to their experience and listen to their journey and see how did it impact their life and how did it not impact their life. And
Mhm.
still, at least got some kind of insight mentally from the real girls who was dealing with this way before time, who've been a trans woman for 20 years of their life. You
Right.
know,
Or
I
better.
I think that we should get education When it comes down to these new trans people, go sit down with the older girls because a lot of these girls they're not going to therapy. First of all, they're
Right.
not going to actually get diagnosis. They're just transitioning. I didn't just do that. I
Yeah,
was thought I was doing the right things.
let me ask you this, because like I said, I've seen your former self, and I told you before, I said, girl, you could give some more, honey. If you were to ever do shows, but you could give some more down. Okay. But do you think that a lot of the struggle with transitioning is the whole idea of being snatched and beautiful? Because like we know the Raquels and the Tommy Rosses and the Mimi Moxes and the Maya Douglases and the RuPauls. Okay, even though RuPaul is not trans, she's drag. But at one point, RuPaul was considered to be the most beautiful black woman in the world, which
Hmm.
upset everybody. Okay, how the hell
Yeah.
the most beautiful black woman in the world is a damn man? You know that upset the world. Uh, but at the same time, it's all about those aesthetics and carrying on. How is it that you can take your message and now help to bridge that gap? Because a lot of the kids come up in here and they think if they're not as pretty as those children, that they're not doing it the right way. Henceforth, a lot of the back alley, the back alley hormones and all these pumping parties that we hear, and all this tire silicone that they putting in their bodies, and all this poison that they putting in their bodies to be beautiful and snatched, not realizing that not all, you could be real looking, honey, but don't have to be all, because not all biological women are really snatched and beautiful, but you's a real woman. You fixable. How do we bridge that gap? Because with you standing in here saying, okay, yes, I was had those 11 years, honey, I was there, honey. When I was in it, I was in it, I was committed to it. But when it started to get unhappy for me, and I made that decision to say, I'm not happy with this anymore, it's okay to do that. Or if you're one of those girls that got to be beautiful, what's the message in all of that? How do we, what do you think the education needs to be in all of that?
Take your time. A lot of these. I took my time. I did. When I got off a black market and I found the right doctor, she put me on cream. The estrogen cream was the most safest way,
Uh-huh.
slowest way to transition, but safest way for say because you was able to really see your beauty in it all with the cream. You know
Uh-huh.
what I'm saying, and feel natural and good doing it. And you taking your time doing it. A lot of these girls, they're not taking their time. They automatically going to the table. They're not, which hormone therapy is bad for your body. The That stuff is not good for your body. But they got safer ways to transition if you go that route. And that's the estrogen cream. You don't have to get the shots, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But do the girls want to go that route? No. These new agents, they making a lot more money than all these other girls they made. So the assets of the surgeries and the all the plastic surgeons, they're like just ready at the table. Like, okay, I know for a fact I can get me $50,000 off this trans person.
Right. Right.
Just to make them feel something they can never be. But they're rushing the process. Slow down because see, if you slow down, then maybe that process not for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It
Right.
just it just might not be for you. But when you go so fast and you get so much stuff done, like take for me for instance, if I would have got silicone injection, it would have been 10 times harder for me to be transitioned.
Right.
By me just only getting implants and taking my implants out, and yeah, when I got my implants taken out, I still had a size C cup breast, so I had to
Uh-huh.
have two more surgeries after that to finish my chest to have a flat chest and stuff like that. So, you know, if I would have rushed it, meaning getting the silicone, getting all that, not taking my time, then it would have been. I probably would not do transition because I
Mm,
would not have wanted to deal with that.
right,
So
right.
now I know why a lot of girls don't detransition who got all the work done because it takes more money to detransition, and that goes into the medical. The government need to make a way to help people to detransition. It need to be put in the system to where the insurance cover it.
Mm,
They're covering for trans people to transition, but they're not covering for trans people to detransition. Why? It fall under the same thing.
mm.
You know,
Well,
so that's the only thing you can tell the girls is take their time because let me tell you something. You can't tell them nothing else. The only thing you can word the encouragement is just take your time and get the proper mentor because you, like you told me, if Bo would have told me I don't want you to do that, I would never have. I would have still did it,
right.
even though my friends and them was would have said don't do it. I would have still did it. But like I
Mm,
told you, I didn't open up to them about it and did it because I didn't want them to stop me from doing it.
mm-hmm.
Because if
Right, yeah,
not,
because Bo
then
would
I
have
would have.
snatched you. Yeah, she'd have
Yeah,
snatched
I
you.
would have.
Because, like you said, once she told you, you better be like you got them damn titties. Okay.
Yeah, she told me that. Who was actually like, "You're lucky you got them titties," because deep inside I knew Boban done drag since 15 years old. Bo
uh,
way almost in his 50s now, so that's a longevity of experience already. So he didn't see way more already.
right, right,
By the
right,
time he met me here, I didn't see so much. He done been around all the greatest girls by then. So you know
right.
what I'm saying? He ain't he may not be experienced being a trans woman, but he experienced being around all the trans people
Would
when
have
it
been
came
around the
down to,
girls. Right, right,
knowing what some of the struggle was. But you know, every girl struggle is different. Because a lot of girls, once they blend, they don't like they check out, which is sad because you shouldn't. Because reality will hit you when you go through things in real life.
right, right,
You know.
right. Well, all right, baby. Let me end this with you letting the
Well,
kids know what's going on with you now. What are you what's some of your plans? What is it that you're looking to do in your future? You're 4 years into being king again. Now, is this your birth name or the name you chose
that's my name. I just go by in these streets. You know, my brain.
to identify your man self?
Yeah, but no, that ain't my birth name. People know my birth name. They got certain people do, but I changed my name 3 times legally.
Okay, right.
You know,
Okay,
so
right.
yeah. But right now, what is Kane doing? Kane is right now trying to find a foundation to uh get the book going. Kane is want to get in. I want to do more advocating. I want to get into more politics more. I want to learn a lot more. Right now, King is starting a foundation in the future for people, for homeless people. My passion in this world is to be nonprofit organization, go around the world, open shelters for not only for heterosexual people, for LGBTQ people. You know what I'm saying? I got big plans and big dreams as king. I'm unstoppable now because I'm going through a new phase in my life where really just I learn myself, I know myself, I'm not confused on who I am no more, and I know where God is taking me and why I went through what I went through to get to where I got to now. So now King is just focused on the journey, the podcast world, going on different people podcasts, speaking about the transition, and also opening up a line for people like me for the detransitioning world. I just seen on Facebook they got another person just detransitioned, a trans girl. She says she transitioned in 2019, and now she's detransitioning now in 2024. So that's like less than 5 years. So my goal is now to open up this big old facility on this internet platform for detransition people of color, especially black people. They have a lot of white people who speak out on their detransition lifestyle, and they're welcome with open arms. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
now I want to open up an outlet for not only people of color, but just people like me who was stuck in the dark of being sexually abused and silent.
Mm-hmm.
Let's open up a. I want to open up the door for mental health for Black people. You know, we need to speak out more about mental health because that's a big problem in our community that we do not express, and we
Mm-hmm.
are afraid to express about. So that's pretty much what King is doing. Just making sure I create new outlets not only for myself but for other people like myself, so we become a better world. They can reach
Well,
out to me at King Testimony 26 on TikTok, and then my email is King2066 at yahoo.com. And then my snap is King Pro Black. So, I don't have no other social media sites. So if anybody see pictures of me anywhere else, I don't got them. They ain't mine. Now, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank you, Flame, Buck Angel. I went on Angela's Shelton podcast before. So everybody podcast who have touched so far, I appreciate y'all so much for just listening to my story and just being able to allow me to have some kind of outlet so I can let people hear me and get somebody
you know
an
what?
idea of what it's like.
I'm gonna tell you what the fear is. Okay, the fear is that a lot of folks who may have turned away from the church, okay, they don't want the church people to be right. I'm gonna just throw that out there, okay. And at the same time, I'm not wanting them to be right. The uber traditional people would then try to demonize everything. And it's not necessarily about that, because what we don't know is why you were on this journey to begin with. Okay. If we know, or if we accept the fact that God has everyone down here for a reason and everyone's journey is independently different, then we don't understand why you're on the journey. We just have to respect the journey. And for those who felt that God, or have been told that God hates them, God, ain't gonna love them no more. As Red was saying, it's all about the sin, love the sinner, hate the sin thing. Okay. When we start to get into that kind of talk, and you start to have these kind of feelings like as you did, okay, where am I? Because God, I thought I was doing this. You let me do this. You told me I was okay doing this. Now you're telling me to go back. I'm not understanding. To have that kind of conversation now says what? So it puts your entire foundation at risk at the point of, oh my God, these church children were right. Does this mean I'm a burn in hell? And this start all, that figure eight start going until you get to a point where you can merge all of that and be okay and be like, this is my journey and God has me here. And as
Hmm.
long as I say yes to my journey, I'm okay. Okay. And I think that there is where a lot of this get into play, and why a lot of people won't allow people to come on to tell their story. Baby, this is your life. Okay. Your story is your story. I can't tell you nothing else. This is what happened. Okay.
Oh, yes.
And so that's why it is important, because being up under the rainbow umbrella, you are up under that umbrella. Okay, you transition, so you detransition. Okay, there's room for that too here.
Yeah.
And we have to be able to accept that. It's no different than those of us who did drag and then went into retirement. Okay. And it's the same thing. Oh, you don't do drag no more? No, girl. I done burned all my drag, gave it away, whatever the case may be. When they go into retirement, it's the same exact principle. The same exact principle. But we can accept that, but don't want to accept the fact that you detrans, because it seems like it's a hit. The trans community, it seems like it's a hit. Like, oh my God, you turned your back on us. And
Hmm.
then you're like, but wait a minute, you turned your back on me. We still sisters,
Yep.
but you done turned your back the fuck on me. How come I can't live? Ain't that what we said? Let me be me. You know, and it becomes their whole catch-22, their whole circle, their whole everything. So, baby, that's why it's important that you're here. That's why when I heard you over there on Laugh and Learn with Flame and Bobby, I needed to have you here.
Oh
I
yeah.
needed to have you here because oh no, baby, we gonna get into this. We're gonna get into this because it's important, and those who are those who are struggling, we're trying to make sense of it. You know, I thought this is what I wanted to do. And this is something that we talk about all the time. You've heard Flame say this on many shows. Yeah, you may want to do hormones today, but girl, down the line, honey, hey, you know, that may change. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
You're damn true too.
look at the girls who got all these G cup titties, but now you done got old and that shit is on your back. All that weight is in your back. You know what I'm saying? You don't feel like wearing a bra today. Okay, now you understand, girl. Okay, they don't look cute when they drooping. Okay, you're not the it girl anymore. Or better yet, you did it for vanity and you're not wearing that gown no more. And so now you got to deal with this. That you're getting unwanted attention. You know? And a lot of children
Oh
don't
yeah.
want to handle that anymore. But that's what you did it for. Okay.
Well,
Because you
some people transition for just because of a lot of females transition for men and not self, and that's where a lot of them go wrong at. The
boom.
same men you can catch as a trans woman, the same men you can catch just as a man. They are the same. I learned that in the game. All of the same. That's why I say I'm me because I don't have no interest in with a man with a stick because we, like I said, we don't have interest and we don't lie for the fine thing. Your mind is just to mess around. My mind is to have a family. Half of y'all got families and y'all messing around. So I want what y'all got, but y'all don't want at
Right.
home.
Okay.
So that's where my mind is at. And it's just a lot. And there's more to unpack. And I'm gonna come on your show again. You're
Of
gonna have
course
me
you
again.
will.
We're gonna do another little mixed up by something else. And we're gonna I'm gonna keep going. I think, like I said, this is just started something new for me. And I was afraid to just put my face out on there. It's a whole was a judgment thing the first time around, but this time around is needed. A lot of the transition people are stepping up to the plate now, and we do need people from our culture to really stand up in the detransitioning world to say, "Hey, I, this is me, and I couldn't do this, and thank you for allowing me to see the light." Because one day somebody gonna thank me. Now you say, well, before, yeah, a lot of girls didn't see me in that light because I didn't put myself in that light no more because I was going through my own personal issues. But now since I have detransitioned, I'm standing up and putting myself in a bigger light to say, hey, this is me, this is what we're doing, this is where we're going, and who can we help, and also who can we support through that transition. Who can we help through the detransition, and who can we support through that transition? No matter what transition you're going through,
And
you
there you
know.
have it. And
And there
there
you
you
have it.
have it. Baby, thank you for coming and being
Find your
here.
light in the
Thank you for
tunnel.
sharing.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
Listen, honey, I'm just a light, honey. Y'all still got to go through the tunnel. Okay.
Yes, indeed.
I'm just the light. You can see the light, honey, but you still got to go through that tunnel to get to me.
Yeah.
So let's march. All right. Thank you, baby. Thank you for
You're
coming
welcome,
on
sweet.
here
Call
and
me
doing
tomorrow. You have a great night.
okay. Yeah, I'm gonna call you. I'll call you.
Okay.
Okay, baby.
Bye.
Good night. Ladies and gentlemen, honey, listen, y'all been listening here. Today's show is I Am What I Am, okay, detransitioning. And I hope we said there were some things said here that got your mind to thinking that's opening up. For those of you who are traditional Christians, I want you to do this. Okay, as you give God the glory, which I know you're going to do, and you're going to shout and holler and carry on, I need you to come and get practical with me for a minute. Okay. Because oftentimes, as I said, we don't understand what and why folks are on their journeys. And oftentimes God's glory got to come from them understanding that they're on the journey. Okay, so this is more than just shouting and, oh my God, God done released them and God done the devil done let them go. It's more than that, because we don't understand the nature of the journey. You understand? I'm not telling you don't give God praise, because I know you are. The thing of it is, I just don't want it to become a whole religious thing, because it's more to it than that, because there's a spiritual component, there's a physical component, there's a mental component. Okay. And everybody knows that spirituality is all about belief anyway, and that's very subjective. So folks got to do something very differently. This baby here just shared with us for 11 years. Okay, he lived this way. 11. And almost about halfway through it was when he's really started to realize, okay, something is different, because what I thought this was going to be, it ain't. Okay. Then understanding some of the trials in it. I done became a fetish. I'm fighting folks that I didn't know was supposed to be a bother. Understanding that, okay, I thought that this meant I'm supposed to be submissive, but that's not my nature. You know, and not understanding to find the balance and what that means. Now, when he said, okay, this ain't working anymore, the very people he was working with, the sisters and that was supposed to be in the stronghold, did what? Turn their backs and thought that he was the traitor. Okay, that he was the manipulator, the liar, the cheat. Okay, and all of those things, except for saying, okay, wait a minute, baby. Okay, boo. Okay, we all got a little jokes. Also, how they say what they say in Paris is burning. Okay, with my girl Venus Extravaganza, when she was playing the ring. Oh, you went back to being a man. But saying all that, honey, it's okay. And that's the part that we as the Rainbow community got to accept. It's okay, because again, we don't understand what this journey is. We don't understand it. Why they're on this journey. Okay, we don't understand it, right? And that there is that. I could go further because I was going to make a couple other points, but if I get into that, it's going to take me into something else. So I'm going to save those for later. But what I want y'all to do, take, like, subscribe, and share this. Have the conversation. A lot of y'all who don't believe in it anyway, y'all go, okay, I know what that dialogue is going to be. Okay. I know what that dialogue is going to be. Okay. But go have it anyway. Okay. Because I want you to do you. Okay. But let's have this conversation and be fair with it. Let's understand that we have to broaden it. We have to expand it. Okay. You just heard this baby sit there and say, hey, when I transitioned, I thought it was natural for me to be with a trans man, because if I wanted to have a family and he wanted to have a family, then okay, biologically, we're still the same and we can biologically have children. There's a couple that's up on YouTube, and I wanted to reference them here. If y'all go on YouTube, there's a black couple that's a trans woman and a trans man, and they did just that. Okay, they did just that. Been together for years. Okay, and they did just that. So it's not like it's inconceivable. A lot of us don't understand the whole idea of gender identity versus sexual orientation. Y'all want to merge those things, and they're exclusively different. They're exclusively different. Okay. So on that note, I'm gonna end it there, because there's going to be your homework assignment. Go understand, find out, break it up, find out what it means between gender identity and sexual orientation. Okay. And then you can start to have the conversation on detransitioning. All right. Honey, I am who I am, honey. And having said all that, honey, you may finish all of your crumpets, darling, because the tea has been dished. And you've been dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meech and Minister Lavelle, honey, a.k.a. Big Red, the big guy ally, and our very special guest, honey. He says, honey, I done changed my name 3 different damn times, honey, but today in the streets, in these streets, y'all know him as King. Okay? So having said all that, honey, good night. You guys be good to yourselves. And if it's anything, I don't pray anymore. I send up praise reports. And if it's anything, my praise report is that your mind is clear, that your peace upholds everything that God has for you, and that when it's all said and done, when you look in the mirror, honey, you can continue to have eye-to-eye contact with yourself in the mirror and never have to drop your head in the face bowl because you're shamed. Having said that, honey, and scene.